isn't what anyone wants for a birthday gift. And then he said, basically, scary situation that my wife handled masterfully and kept my kids safe. If anyone has any info that can help find these people, please reach out. So some scary news there. Meanwhile, NFL owners have approved a tweak to league rules for flexing Thursday night games on Amazon Prime, reducing the window for notifying teams of a change to 21 days. The window had been 28 days since the rule was enacted in a contentious vote before the 2023 season.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Monday to everybody. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend out there. Coming up at 3 p.m., it'll be our weekly visit with Rowland Smith, who was in the booth for the entire A series. I'm not sure if he's in there for the Tiger series that starts tonight or not, but did a great job along with Goldie, so we'll talk to him at 3 p.m. And
well, Ryan was good.
Ryan was good. Goldie... He was Goldie. No, we love him. That's a joke. That's a joke.
Everybody loves Goldie.
And our buddy Brady Henderson of ESPN is going to join us live from the NFL owners meetings that are taking place, where they are debating rule changes and what should be, what should not be, and all of that. So stick around for that. Great stuff coming your way. You got the text line there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. And if you are so inclined, you might be able to text in a happy birthday wish to Dave Wyman, who is 40 years old today. It's unbelievable. For the 21st time, you're 40.
Yes, that's right. Does
happy birthday, Dave.
I really appreciate that, Bob. Yeah, don't text in. Don't text happy birthday.
It's too late. It's too late. Say nice things.
Nobody wants to celebrate that.
Text in great, kind, warm things to Dave. Just take a day off from the mean things you normally say. Just take one day off and celebrate the man.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. No mean text today.
Yeah, you can lay into him tomorrow. But today
and the rest of the week.
That's right. That's right. You got Tuesday through Friday to lay into Dave, and you can lay into me today if you want, or Matt. Matt's producing the show, so he's always a fun target. But nothing but kind things about Dave today. Okay? Can we work within those parameters?
I don't think that's going to work, Bob.
You don't think so?
I don't think that's going to work.
Or it'll be backhanded compliments. I can't wait to see the creativity.
Yeah, come up with some creative backhanded compliments. How about that?
Yeah, I'm sure they will. 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. All right, so first series is in the books, Dave, and it didn't quite go, I think, the way we were hoping. They split the series, which you want to take 3 or 4 at home. Yeah. They were frankly lucky to take 2, because unfortunately the offense has resembled what it looked like last year and the year before and the year before, where it just is spotty at best. And you got a timely home run from Julio. Otherwise, we're looking at a 1-3 series.
Yeah. No, that's the part that you got 5 hits in every single game, and then 41 strikeouts in the 4-game series. So, but look, I think it started off. I think if you're going to split with them, it was good timing, right? Opening night, great, get the win, and then you feel good about winning the game on Sunday. So it takes you out of the weekend feeling a little bit positive. I'm very curious to see how good the A's are.
There's some talent on the team.
They really do have some good talent.
But I think the Mariners, I think if we're being honest, they did their part in making them look maybe better than they are. We'll find out. Look, we're not going to freak out, even though there's a lot of freaking out on social media. There's a whole bunch of freaking out on social media, as you might imagine, Dave.
Yeah.
Typical. The season's over. This is what you get. I told you they were going to stink. It's just a lot of that. I told you so.
Yeah.
A lot of that. It's like, okay, you got 158 games to go.
Right.
158. So let's I'm as cynical and as pessimistic as anybody, but let's pace ourselves here.
Yeah, well, and again, you got to wait and see, what the A's are going to be. They did, and we kind of made fun of them. Oh, they decided to go out and make some noise in the offseason and actually sign some people. And we'll see what kind of a team they are. It's just discouraging that number one, you've got great pitching, and there was evidence of that. But then, I mentioned the 20 hits that they had over the 4-game series, which ranks them number 24 in Major League Baseball. Too early to start, but does this sound familiar? If you look at their average on-base percentage, I think is almost exactly what it was last year. And then you got slugging and OPS, number 27, number 16 on-base percentage, and they climbed up late in the season. And I think they were right at 16. But then, slug and OPS, 27 and 26. Mentioned the strikeouts. They're number 4 in Major League Baseball. So I'm just getting the bad stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
It was a 2-2 series. I mean, there's going to be some bad. But, I mentioned the 20 hits, which ranks them in the bottom third. And then, with the strikeouts, same thing. They did steal some bases, though. Got 5 stolen bases, so that's top 5.
Work some walks. They got a couple guys getting plunked, getting on base that way. So, look, there's some good, there's some bad. We'll go through all of it. We made predictions before the series about the series. So let's revisit those, shall we? Should we take a listen to how we did and call it now?
No.
This is we went series record, where 4-game series. What's their record going to be? As much as Dave tried to keep it to 3 games, it's 4 games.
What is the Mariners' record after this 4-game series with the A's?
3-0.
Well, it's a 4-game series, so.
At least I got one laugh out of Matt. No, in all seriousness, I would say 3-1. You take that. I'm not buying the whole athletics thing. I'm not buying the A's.
Don't call me stupid.
Oh, right. To call you stupid would be an insult to stupid people.
Yeah, I'm going 3-1 as well. I think I feel like that's a fair, realistic expectation, so I'm going 3-1.
Not great, Bob.
No, we were a little too optimistic, Dave.
Matt's favorite part of producing the show.
Pointing out when we're wrong.
Finding those little clips there.
I really do like it. It's just a ton of fun.
I see the delight.
We were a little too optimistic there. So 2-2. We said 3-1. All right. M's run. I think I might have gotten this one. Maybe you did not. But total M's runs scored. I think. What did we put the over under? 12.5. I think.
Yes.
Over under 12.5 total runs scored. Talking Mariners offense right here.
Man, I'll tell you, I'm tempted because of our great pitching and, the lack of offense here. I'm going to go over.
You think the Mariners will score more than 12 total runs in 4 games?
Yes, I do. Yes, that's right, Bob.
Well. You blew it. Super hard. Complete buffoonery. It's hilarious, and you deserve it.
What about you?
I'm going to take a slight under on that.
Okay.
Slight under on the offense of 12.5. I think they come in maybe 10 or 11.
I'm sure Bob knows. He knows ball.
That's our boy Lofa.
Even in saying they'd be under, I was a little too optimistic. They scored 8.
Yeah.
I said 10 or 11. I took the under, which, okay, that's right. But I was even too optimistic with my under because they scored 8. They averaged 2 runs a game.
Yeah, and if it was 2 per game, that'd be great. But the 0
being
performance,
shut out, that hurt.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah. Then we asked about how many Mariner home runs there would be.
Over under 5.5 total home runs. Now, maybe I put this a little low because we just saw the Orioles hit 5 home runs today. This is through the 4-game series. That's what we're looking at.
This is Seattle.
It is Seattle. It is not warm. Ball doesn't carry well. Late March, early in April. We know that. So it gets depressed a little bit.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm going under on that one. I don't think there's going to be 6 home runs in this series.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
I think I'm going to take the under as well. I think I'll take the under as well on 5.5. All right.
Bingo. How fun.
All right, we got that one right.
Yeah. Well, it was, the air was saturated. most of the weekend. So
well, and the wind was howling. Was it yesterday's game? Yeah, wind was blowing hard. So there might have been some home runs that got knocked down. I know some were talking about a Rosarena shot that died on the warning track in center field, and there might have been one more that would have otherwise been a home run. But yeah, the wind, you can't discount it. It was blowing pretty hard. And then the last one. Now this is Mariner runs allowed in this series.
Now this is to the pitching staff. Runs allowed, 12.5. Do they allow over, under 12.5 runs?
I'm going under. Go pitching. Go Mariner pitching.
You were rooting against your own self-interest here. You talked earlier about how you don't really like pitchers' duels or low-scoring games in baseball. You love them in football.
I've come to appreciate it, Bob. Come to appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going under on that as well. I'm buying into this rotation. I think they're going to pick up where they left off last year.
Was that wrong? Should I not have done that?
Started out well. Logan Gilbert was a master. He gave you exactly what you'd hoped for and come to expect. Your opening day starter. He is the ace of the staff, and he pitched that way. And then it didn't go as well. Castillo pitches, and I didn't think he pitched poorly. I thought his changeup actually looked really good. But he was kind of typical Castillo. He gives up the home run. Logan gave up one as well, but he doesn't go deep into games. It's just he's not very efficient with his pitches. A lot of foul balls and things like that. For Castillo, he did enough to keep him in the game, and that was the one they lost 7-0. So they had nothing offensively. So he could have given up one run and still lost the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so and he gave up the one home run, and that's kind of typical of him. But look, I think he would be a number one, probably on an ace on probably 10 teams, 12 teams in Major League Baseball, and it'll be interesting to see how he handles coming off that as far as not being the opening day starter and whether or not that actually, motivated him or not.
Yeah, it was. They could have won that game. I mean, he pitched well enough to keep him in it. He wasn't dominant. He wasn't locked down. He gave you a chance to win.
Yeah.
Brian Wu was very good. He looked like what we saw last season, where we were raving about this guy not getting enough attention, and maybe he ends up being the second best arm in the rotation by the end of it. Who knows? They all could be that. But I thought he pitched very well. Bryce Miller, he was not awesome. He wasn't horrible. Again, kept you in the game. You were expecting more. Just that we've set the standard so high for these guys. So I'm not going to freak out over they weren't all dominant. They're going to have their moments, but they all pitched well enough to win. And the offense just wasn't there, as we talked about. 5 hits a game. You average 2 runs a game. That's just not awesome.
No, it's not. And that's what's so frustrating, I think, for people. And that was part of the angst during the offseason, that you're going to get good pitching performances and not always going to get the backup as far as offense goes. And numbers bared it out.
Yeah. Looking at some other things that were good, though, I thought Ryan Bliss had a very good defensive series. He made some nice plays out there, and Dan Wilson talking about what he did defensively.
Yeah, I thought he played a really nice second base. He had a couple balls early that kind of got his feet wet, I think, and then was able to really, make some bigger plays later in the ball game. But looked really, really strong, and great to see him get his first opening day and feel comfortable out there. Obviously put some pressure on the defense by stealing a bag, getting to third base, and so happy to see that from Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, he just looked incredibly smooth and confident. I think that was the one thing, he just, the way he moved, it looked like he'd been playing Major League Baseball for 10 years defensively. So that was really good to see. And he got on base a couple of times. But, I thought he looked great.
Yeah, great in the field. He did some nice things on the bases, at the plate. Really the only person at the plate who's hot right now is Polanco.
And the 2-2 to Polanco, swinging a drive deep to straightaway center. Blade going back to the one, he tracked to the wall, leaps up, it's gone. Goodbye, baseball. Jorge Polanco with a 2-run drive unties it. It's the Mariners 4, the A's 2 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Polanco's first home run of the season.
Yeah, it's he's 5 for 10 so far. So nice to see him looking good at the plate. We'll talk about him in the field. But in terms of guys that have come out hot offensively, at least in the first 4 games, it's Polanco and it's Polanco. I mean, Dylan Moore is 2 for 6, 333. I mean, 6 at-bats. Okay. And then every other player is 200 or below.
Yeah.
That's Robles and Rowdy Tellez are hitting an even 200, and everybody else, Julio, 167, Luke Raley, 167, Garver, 125, Bliss, 111, J.P. Crawford, 083. Same for Cal Raleigh with just 1 hit, 083. And, yeah. So they haven't gotten going yet.
No, and how much does it bother you, the strikeout numbers? I mean, look, it's early, but if it wasn't a continuation of last year, I think I would be like, oh, okay, let's just see what happens. But I do think that is the one stat that kind of gives me a little bit of pause. I was like, okay, let's look at over the 4-game series and plug that in. Obviously, it's very early on, but as far as rankings, it goes the Cubs with 55, the Dodgers 43. Which they put up a lot of offense to go along with those strikeouts, and then Boston at 42, and then the Mariners at 41. So they're number 4 in a not so good way.
Yeah. It's when it's been a problem in years past, you tend to. I could see overreacting to what you see in 4 games.
Yeah,
these are the only. I mean, this is the only thing we have to go on right now. Is these 4 games? I think these numbers are going to straighten out. Guys are going to start. I mean, Cal's got 1 hit. That's going to change. It's 4 games, so I'm not going to overreact to anything. But when you see that, you're like, okay, maybe there's some over-eagerness in the opening series, trying to do too much. Hopefully that'll even out. But when it's been a consistent problem, it's not a new one. It's been the story the past few years. You tend to focus in on that and certainly acknowledge that that's not great. And the Dodgers you bring up, they're striking out, but they're also 5-0 and mashing the ball. So a little different set of circumstances there. Some of the good. I mean, it's good to see Polanco hitting like that, and the other guys will kick in. I'm certain of it to a certain extent. We talked about the pitching for the most part. Logan Gilbert, like we said, outstanding. Brian Wu, very good. Castillo, solid, and then Miller, probably the worst of the bunch. The defense is the one thing we talked about prior to the season that I had been sticking with me. Like, I just don't know what we're going to get defensively. I don't have a lot of faith. And unfortunately, they sort of made my fears come to life there.
Bob, you'll be happy to know this. Whenever I see an error, I think of you.
Yeah.
Only because you've kind of
I was harping on it.
The torch.
I was harping on it a bit. And maybe that'll even out too. But first of all, we saw Polanco attempt to throw from third. We saw one that he completed that he was a little rainbow arc to it, just lollipopped it over to first base. And then when he charged the ball and looked like he got as much as he could, it was like a 73 hopper to first base. And then Dylan Moore couldn't pick it, and it was a bad play.
Yeah.
It was just he turned the wrong direction. He had a couple of moments out there where he looks really uncertain, and the arm doesn't look good. I mean, let's just be honest. He unfortunately kind of represented what I was fearful of. Doesn't mean he can't improve. Doesn't mean it won't get better. And I'll be curious to see how often they run him out there, but it did not look good. And then you saw J.P. Crawford sail one over Solano's head. I still don't know what Colin Snyder was doing with that pop fly.
Yeah.
These pitchers are told to peel off when the infield pop, get out of the way. And he just stood there. And he had 2 people. He had a player on either side of him going for the ball, and he just stood there, and they botch a pop-up.
Yeah, I think Ryan Rowland Smith was saying that's the third baseman's play on that. I thought he said during the broadcast.
Yeah, you would defer to him or Cal in that situation.
As
the pitcher, peel off, get out of the way.
Yeah, you're number 3 in the equation.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, that one, gosh. I mean, I felt like it was a pretty good stab that Polanco, fielded that ball. But like you said, the mechanics weren't there. And then the high throw you mentioned, I think Tellez was able to get that one, and probably if it was a shorter, maybe if that was Donnie Barrels, he doesn't make that catch. So yeah, that kind of makes you wonder. But that was the one that frustrated me the most, just because there are rules on that. And I can just, when you look at Cal in a situation like that, who's the smartest baseball player on the field, and he's got to be just shaking his head like, what are you doing, man? So, that was a little bit frustrating there. That one was kind of the Keystone Cops of errors there.
Yeah, it was a bad look. Yeah. It was a bad look. All right, we'll talk much more about the Mariners as they get back to business against the Tigers starting tonight. Right now, let's take two.
An unnamed source told ESPN that the Green Bay Packers' proposal to ban the Tush bush has support within the competition committee.
It's so lame. It is just so dumb that this is an issue, that this is a... There's no ground, there's no basis for banning it. There's nothing that they can point to and go, well, look, this is a safety hazard. This is it's taking too long. It's it's just that here's a group of teams that have been faced with it who can't stop it. They can't duplicate it. It's not every team in the league is not running it. It's not an important play in that, I'm going to miss it if it's not there. But to me, it's just weak. It's just weak. We can't stop it, so we want it banned.
Yeah, the only thing I could see on that, because you're right. I mean, all of the research has been done. There's not guys dropping like flies. Health-wise, it's not a problem. But does every short yardage situation now turn into a rugby scrum? Because people are going to start doing it. This is a copycat league. Everybody is going to, try to figure out how to get that done. I'm not saying guys are going to run it every single time. I guess that would be the only thing, but the fact that it's coming from teams that couldn't stop it, it's a bad look.
Yeah, it's a terrible look. I read a story, only 2 teams have attempted it more than 5 times last season, and that was the Eagles and the Bills.
Yeah.
I mean, have the Seahawks tried it?
No, I don't
try a version of it. I
don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like every team is attempting it. We've seen some teams try it and fail. They're not as good as the Eagles are at it. So,
you got to stop it. And I don't know how they do that. We talked about possibly shoving defensive linemen from behind, but we'll see.
All 4 number 1 seeds, Florida, Auburn, Houston, Duke, have advanced to the Final Four of the March Madness tournament.
Oh, what a shocker. All the number 1s got in. I was watching one of the show, the one with Barkley and Ernie, and there was a stat that at that point, at least when I was watching it on, I think it was Sunday morning, 53% of the points scored were transfers. They were transfer portal. 53% of the scoring was from
kids that
transfers.
transferred to those schools. Yeah.
So I mean, and Barkley had kind of a thing of like, hey, we can't have this going to the highest bidder, and but I mean, it played out. And really, when you look at it, there was a 2 in there, in the Elite 8, and then. I think, a 3, and there was the rest were. So it was 1s, 2s, and 1 3. So it
chalk,
entirely chalk, and I don't know. Maybe that's more exciting. Maybe it's better that way, but maybe you get, because a lot of times when you get the high seed as far as an upset, then the next round ends up being crappy. So I don't know. We'll see how it's going to take a couple years, I think, to figure out whether this is good or bad.
Take 2 is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Coming up, one NFL expert had some high praise for Mike Macdonald's defense. You're going to hear about that when we come back with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
When you're on the pitch clock and don't have time for your favorite Seattle sports shows, listen to the podcasts on demand.
How about that?
Unbelievable.
Who would have thought?
Every hour, every interview, every look behind the scenes.
Dan Wilson's the new skipper.
This is a window. This is a time where we can get it done, and that's the hope. That's the vision for this club.
Find us on SeattleSports.com, the Seattle Sports app, or wherever you get podcasts.
Holy smokes!
Never miss a minute of Seattle sports, the home of the Mariners.
To me, the LJ way is to provide an experience that people really enjoy being a part of. And they enjoy being a part of it because they're getting great service. They're talking with somebody that actually they feel cares about them. They care about what their impression is going to be walking away. It's also understanding you're now part of our family, and thank you for doing the business with us. And this is how we're going to show our appreciation through customer service. We're going to show our appreciation with taking care of you if you ever have an issue. The majority of the people that are coming to see us are within our community. These are people who are providing maybe services that we also use in our community. So the LJ Way, to me, somebody can come into a retail setting and not feel like they got to have their guard up. And that's been a long-standing thing in the car business that, we've tried to shake.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Are you working in the refrigeration industry? Are you staying up on current regulations? Well, Local 32 can help advance your career. That's right. Learn more at ualocal32.com. Again, that's ualocal32.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Bring spring to your door with Target Circle 360. Get all you need for Easter hosting, spring get-togethers, and more with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. From Easter basket goodies to fresh florals, getting everything the same day is easy. Open the Target app and bring the magic of the season to your door with unlimited same-day delivery through Target Circle 360. Visit target.com/circle or the Target app for more details. Subscription required. Same-day delivery is subject to terms. Applies to orders over $35.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Spring cleaning isn't just for clutter. Let Benjamin Franklin Plumbing take care of your appliances. From water heater replacement or repair to advanced water filtration installation, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing is here to provide a worry-free summer for you and your family. Visit BenjaminFranklinPlumbing.com to schedule. You can count on the punctual plumbers, where your comfort and safety come first. Book now. Visit BenjaminFranklinPlumbing.com.
Through March 31st, save double your sales tax from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy easy zero down, zero payments, and zero interest, same as cash, 12-month financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com to save double today.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Look, there's feelings and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. I haven't logged into the text yet. Did they shower you with happy birthday, warm wishes?
I have not looked yet. I know Joe in Bellevue, also born on the greatest day of the year, March 31st.
You share a birthday with Joe in Bellevue?
Joe in Bellevue.
Lucky you. Lucky you. Yes. Dave is celebrating his birthday today. He's being showered with praise and gifts, and he's receiving all of the glory in the building. So I think it's only fair that you guys follow suit and just take one day off from the mean things you say about him and just shower him with nice things.
I'm not going to take the day off.
Things you love about Dave.
In there.
Huh?
There's some real nice text in there. Dave is such a bright light. Oh, wait, that's just the 87 candles.
Oh, see the backhanded. See, we knew that was coming.
Well, we asked for that, though.
Well,
the backhanded compliment.
I just opened it up. 206. I can't clown on Wyman today. I'm 32 with a bad shoulder and a bad knee, and I didn't get paid to do it. Happy birthday.
That makes me feel a lot better. Yeah. At least I got paid for it.
Yeah. I like that. I'm 32, bad shoulder, bad knee. Somebody said, happy unbirthday, Bob. I don't know. It's not my birthday. It's Dave's birthday, and I don't know what unbirthday.
Well, they don't want you to have birthdays because they think you don't want to have birthdays.
But it's not my birthday.
I know, but it's your unbirthday.
Okay. Thanks, 541. That's Oregon. Yeah.
Stoned.
Somebody said the 253-61. I always thought Dave was 92.
See what they did there?
There you go. One more here, and then we'll move on. 206, happy birthday to the kindest, most inviting broadcaster that I've ever had the chance to meet. I think he played some college football, too.
That's true.
No, his career ended at Wooster High. That's where all the glory was, at Wooster High. And
that's why I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, so there you go. Some of the kind, warm wishes from our faithful listeners out there.
Very nice.
Meanwhile, senior writer for Sports Illustrated Connor Orr was on with Bump and Stacy last week, and they talked about the coaching staff here with Mike Macdonald and Klint Kubiak, and had some praise for him.
I think that the personnel has done its job, and now it's time for coaches to coach, right? Like, I think everyone is waiting to see how that offensive line develops. And if that offensive line develops into something that's league average or better, you have something there, right? Because this is going to be a play-action heavy system. You're going to have to run downhill a lot for Kubiak's offense to work. And so as long as you can block it up, and I think Cooper Kupp is a big part of that. I think he's going to help with that a lot. As long as you can block it up, I mean, I think this is going to be a good team. That division's wide open, and I don't see any reason why they couldn't compete at this point.
Yeah, there's the rub. As long as you can block it up. So, yeah.
Somewhere around average.
I think, look, we just talked about the Mariner offensive numbers. Mm-hmm. And if you can just be middle of the road, I think they were number 27 or 28 running the ball. I think Gino was, the fourth or fifth most sacked quarterback. And, we just talked about the average on-base percentage, slug, OPS, 27, 26. I mean, we're just looking for, you've got a good defense that I think got better, and I think they can get better through the draft. I'd really like to see him get another safety. But, and then if you can get your offense just up to, I think, that middling point, then, it's going to be a huge, improvement there. But, I was thinking about this last year at this time. We were saying pretty much the same thing. We feel like they have the players. They have the personnel. And I don't know that it's that way this year as far as offensive line goes. I think we were more hopeful last year. Then we saw what we got on the field. Mm-hmm. And now it's like, I do think they have the players, but do they have it on the offensive line? That's a huge question mark.
John and Mike told us they do. I mean, when we had them on, the John Schneider show happens every week, and we talked to them about it, and they feel like, Mike's line was they're allowed to get better.
Yep.
And the only thing that I guess keeps me from being too anxious about the line, because there's a part of me going, you guys got to fix this, man. Whether it's free agency or the draft, a combination of the both, you've got to address this. Is that they have shown, at least in the short time, one season that Mike Macdonald's been here, when they see a problem, they tend to rectify it right there.
Yep.
If it's, hey, this guy doesn't work, he doesn't work, he's gone. I mean, both of your offseason acquisitions at linebacker didn't make it to the end of the season. They identified they don't fit the way we want them to play. Whatever issues were there, they just looked at it and said, this is not, we can't wait for this to turn around. We're going to fix it right now.
And before that happened, I don't know how you were thinking about it. I was thinking, there's no way this is going to get fixed till the end of the season.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, honestly didn't think they were the biggest problem there. Yeah. I mean, the defense as a whole wasn't playing well, but right. I didn't look at them and go, well, if not for them, this defense would be a lot better. I mean, they had some good games, certainly some good moments. I didn't look at them as this glaring problem, but they did. They're the experts, so obviously defer to them. And they made that change. They made that change with a coordinator. 1 year with Grubb, and they said, done. That's it. So he's shown no reluctance to fix a problem by exiting somebody and bringing somebody else in. So acknowledging that, why would that be any different with the O-line? If he looked at somebody on that line and said, this guy just does not have it, he'd be gone. That's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah, well, you could say that he is a little bit more tuned in defensively than he is offensively, but
got rid of the offensive coordinator.
What's that?
Got rid of the offensive coordinator.
Exactly. So, I think it's gonna be like, okay, we got kind of a short timetable here. Like, we need to see it in like the second week of camp. Mm-hmm. We need to see who is going to be the starter, or else we're going to either have to bring somebody in that can do it. But and he mentioned, John said, he mentioned the experts there, Connor Orr did, and that's what John Schneider called Rick Dennison and John Benton, the offensive line coach and the run game coordinator. And those guys are the experts.
They also have Hutch. They got Jason Peters. They've got some expert eyes, a Hall of Fame set of eyes on the product. So
yeah, they're getting lots of good input.
Well, another one from Connor Orr, just talking about Sam Darnold, and feels like he fits Kubiak's offense better than Geno. So interesting take from him here.
I think Sam just fits better with Kubiak, and you're also, it's essentially like a 1-year deal, right, that you could spin into a longer deal if he ends up working out, which is good. I think they protected themselves on that end, and I don't think we should ever punish a team for getting younger and cheaper at the quarterback position. And we haven't seen Geno's new deal yet with the Raiders, but I would imagine that Darnold's not going to cost as much over the long term, and he just throws really well on the move, right? And that was Klint Kubiak's whole thing, was always getting a quarterback into the boot action, getting him out and allowing him to see the field. So I think this is going to be a really good offense for Sam.
It's going to be a lot of play action pass and hopefully more. It doesn't have to be, but I just prefer quarterback under center. Mm-hmm. And he mentions Darnold's ability to throw on the run. We know it all too well. That play he made where he stepped up and hits Justin Jefferson for the touchdown, that was the backbreaker.
Yep, it's we'll play more from Connor Orr later in the show, but as far as Darnold, yeah, he is younger, he is cheaper, and I got to say the Seahawks have done a nice job with the past 2 quarterback contracts they've given out, because I think just financially speaking, they did not paint themselves into a corner with some exorbitant deal, and they had outs in there if things went the wrong direction. With Geno, we talked about it with him, they could have gotten out of that deal. And the same thing with Darnold, where he even acknowledged there it's essentially a 1-year deal. It can be longer if he succeeds and all of that, but they've done a nice job sort of protecting themselves.
Absolutely.
The last 2 deals. All right, coming up, are we witnessing the birth of a new arms race in Major League Baseball? Talk about that next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans? With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike Macdonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through April 21st, new customers can get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying internet package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Early termination fee applies.
Hey, Mike Salk here with special guest Ryan Rowland Smith, and we love having Hyphen on the show to talk a little baseball, but today, talking about something a bit more personal, yet really exciting. Hyphen, share all the good news.
Thanks, Mike. Look, I've been hearing for about 2 years now how you did the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan and how you lost a ton of weight. I decided to see what the program was all about, and I'm so glad I did. So far, I've lost 30 pounds in just 60 days, and my only regret is not starting sooner.
Well, I'm happy for you. What's been the best part of the program so far?
Honestly, how simple it's been. There's no crazy exercises, no counting calories or scary shots or injections, no side effects or any of that stuff. I feel healthier, I'm sleeping better, I'm eating delicious meals, and the accountability plus communication from the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic team has made it fun.
Man, that is awesome, buddy. Would you recommend it?
Yes. To anyone listening, I was in your shoes. Just schedule a 15-minute consult at Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. It's all you have to do to start.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Hey, baseball fans. Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Need a new roof, a deck, siding, windows? Get up to $3,000 off any new installation. Hi, it's Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Home projects can add up fast, but we're here to help you save big. Book now and lock in up to $3,000 off in savings. That's $3,000 off any new installation. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Your new beginning starts now. D.R. Horton has new construction homes available throughout the greater Seattle area. With spacious floor plans, flexible living spaces, and home technology packages, you can enjoy more cozy moments and sweet memories in your beautiful new home. With new home communities opening throughout the Seattle area, D.R. Horton has the ideal home for you. Visit drhorton.com to learn more. D.R. Horton, America's builder. An equal housing opportunity builder.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. we can help.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. Coming up at the top of the hour, 3 o'clock, Rowland Smith will join us for his weekly conversation, so stay tuned for that. Ryan doing a great job over the weekend with the color commentary duty of working with Aaron Goldsmith on the broadcast, and we'll find out if he's in there for the Tiger series. I don't know if it's the whole homestand or how they're working out the schedule. Meanwhile, A's come to town for 4 games, and I was looking at the attendance and just trying to figure out, okay, how much of what we saw was weather, was the opponent, because let's be honest, the A's aren't a team a lot of people are clamoring to see. They're not thought to be one of the better teams in baseball by any stretch. They don't have a superstar that somebody may want to come see. They have nice players, but nobody that you know, like if the Dodgers come to town, hey, I want to see Shohei, I want to see Mookie, I want to see, they don't have players like that. And you look at it, they didn't, we talked about this on Friday. It was not a sellout for the home opener, which 42,871 last year. Now, last year, just by way of comparison, the Boston Red Sox are in town to open the season.
That's 3,000 to 5,000 fans right there.
Oh, yeah. There are a lot of Red Sox fans that come out of the woodwork.
Yeah.
And it's true for the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, certainly, Giants, Dodgers. You just see all of a sudden the stadium's full of fans for those teams. They travel well.
I remember thinking Houston fans, too, but that's maybe just because the orange stood out.
Yeah,
so
one
much.
glaringly pukey orange jersey looks like 5, feels like 5 because it's so disgusting. So, yeah, opening night, then you look at the next night, it was 25,000 compared to 30,000 on the second night last year. Saturday, they had 35,000 compared to 32 the previous year, and then 27,600 on Sunday compared to 29,300 the previous. So not that far off. I tend to look at it more as the opponent, and the weather was really not awesome, especially for opening day. So it's, I don't know. To me, it's not one thing. To me, I look at the opponent, I look at the weather, and there is some angst amongst the fan base. There is some, I'm going to wait and see what this team looks like.
Yeah, well, we talked about the negative things. There was plenty of positive things to, like Ichiro being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then, the big Cal Raleigh news, signing his deal. By the way, listening to that on the way home in the pregame show on Friday, Cal did such a great job with that. And, he's not a guy that's going to be super wordy, but he was so real and just did such a great job. And I think him and the pitching staff are going to, whatever they did during the offseason, I feel like that sort of makes up for it, because you got a chance to go and see Logan Gilbert or Luis Castillo. So, and then Cal just being a fixture here, like he's going to be here. So, I think that brings a lot of fans in. But to me, I thought it was more, like you said, the opponent. I mean, the A's are notorious for not spending money. They did spend money in the offseason, but the opponent, and then it was pretty rough weather.
Yeah, the weather was not good. So if you were somebody that would normally go to the opening series or opening day and you did not, text in why. Just curious for fans that would, if that's been part of your history. I go every year. I take in at least one game of the opening series. If that's been your tradition and it wasn't this year, Text in Y, 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. So just looking at that, again, all of these things we're measuring, whether it's crowds, whether it's performance of players, it's 4 games.
Yeah.
It's 4 games. It's all we have to go on right now, but it's 4 games.
Well, and Wally from Snoqualmie was also pointing out the Kraken were in town as well. That could be another factor.
Nobody's going to watch the Kraken. Stop it. Meanwhile, there was a brewing controversy of sorts over the weekend that didn't involve the Mariners. It involved the New York Yankees, who hit 15 home runs in their opening series. They had a game, Dave, where the first 3 hitters in the game all hit home runs on the first pitch of their at-bat. So 3 pitches were thrown to 3 separate hitters, and all of them left the yard.
Jeez. That's ridiculous.
And it all comes to the torpedo bat, as they're calling it. It looks a bit like a bowling pin if you haven't seen it.
Wasn't that 2 of the 3 had
there was like 3 of the 15 home runs they hit, 9 were hit by the torpedo bat.
Okay.
By somebody using the torpedo bat. And it was developed by an MIT physicist, not a physician, as I saw repeatedly over the weekend on social media. They hired an MIT physician to go in there and design this bat. He's not a doctor. He's a physicist. Aaron Leanhart designed the new bat for the Yankees with the idea how in an era ruled by pitching could offense keep up. So he talked to players and just got some feedback and developed this bat. And by all, in terms of measurements, in terms of how wide the barrel is allowed to be and how much it can weigh and the length and all, it falls within the parameters of MLB's guidelines. Because I saw people tweeting, this is illegal, they're cheating. Well, if we're going by the letter of the law as it pertains to how big the bat can be and how wide it can be, they're not cheating. They're not.
Yeah, it has the proper specs. It's just distributed differently.
Yeah.
The weight. So, yeah, and it makes sense. But, there was a quote from Giancarlo Stanton where, and I thought this was telling because I think a lot of, like, you talk to Major League Baseball players about their shoes or their glove, certainly. And if it's a bat, and what he said, his quote was, it just made sense to me. And so it just felt good. And so not everybody's using it, obviously, but I think that is more than anything. I wasn't super superstitious or anything like that, but like I had my shoes that I was going to wear, and if I didn't have them, it was going to bother me for a while. So, and I think that's kind of where this is. It makes sense. It's bigger at where the barrel is. Well,
it's in the sweet spot of the bat, whereas a traditional bat, the very top of the bat is the widest part, the roundest part, if you will. Now they kind of moved it down the bat toward the handle, if you will. So where the logo is it's a bigger sweet spot.
Right.
So, but it's, just looking at the article, baseball's collectively bargained bat specifications for shape, round and smooth, barrel size no larger than 2.61 inches in diameter, in length a maximum of 42 inches. It falls within all of those parameters. It's just distributed differently. So now you got to keep in mind that the Yankees, are playing in a building that is considered a bandbox, is considered a very home run friendly venue, to say the least. And maybe they were facing some subpar pitching on top of it. There are other elements outside of the bat that need to be taken into account. So, the Brewers went out there and maybe they didn't have the goods that day on the mound. We've seen it. It's the opening series for everybody. So guys are finding their way. So maybe it was guys not as sharp as they would otherwise be, combined with playing at home in a very home run friendly park. And then maybe the bat certainly helped a couple of guys.
We were talking to our program director, Kyle Brown, about, like the torpedo bat. And he's like, well, up to like 3 weeks ago, I hadn't really heard that. Now you've heard it from every news source there is that covers sports. The torpedo bat.
Yeah, it's become the new controversy. And just a quick thought here before the break. Jason Benetti, he's on the Tigers broadcast. He was on with Brock and Salk. and he was talking about the torpedo bats.
This is one of those things that they're all available now, right? So it's everybody's fielding calls about them. If there is an advantage, I think it's going to end up evening out because it's not like it's proprietary, which does, it does raise the question: is Major League Baseball going to have to go into the rule book and litigate bats and things like that too? But there was that year in 2019 where Minnesota did all that damage from the middle of the plate, and they felt like they had it figured out, right? They were selecting pitches the right way, and they were hammering pitches, and Minnesota has never had a year like that after. And so, I'm loath to overreact to the beginning of a baseball season.
Yeah, we'll see. Everybody's got access to it. As he said, it's not a proprietary thing. Only the Yankees can use this. Any player can use it. And the guy that leads the Yankees in home runs was not using that bat. That would be Aaron Judge, who now has 4 home runs in 3 games. And he's using his traditional bat. So we'll see. We'll see if any Seattle Mariners decide, this might be able to help me. Maybe this will cut through the marine layer. We'll find out. All right. Has Ryan Rowland Smith recovered from being stuck in the same booth as Aaron Goldsmith for the entire weekend? Whoa, that was mean, Matt. Look at that.
Matt.
Wow. We'll ask him. He'll join us next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
4th down territory. Going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
The NFL is trying to clean up the game. What do they want to emphasize, and how do you feel about it?
The NFL wants to bring in more sportsmanship. And I understand they're saying, look, we want kids watching the game to learn from these guys. And listen, it is a good idea. But the ball player in me says, man, forget all that noise. This is football.
4th down territory. Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Swedish Cyberknife is expanding. Dave Wyman with exciting news from our friends at Swedish. They're adding a second Cyberknife. Patients can now receive Cyberknife treatment at Swedish Cherry Hill and First Hill campuses. As many 710 listeners know, Cyberknife is a non-invasive, non-surgical treatment option for prostate cancer with proven results. It uses advanced technology to track your slightest body movements while adjusting in real time to deliver radiation with extreme precision. Healthy surrounding tissue and organs are spared from radiation. The end result? Excellent long-term cancer control and significantly reduced side effects. Compared with other radiation therapies, which last 6 to 9 weeks, the Cyberknife treatment period is typically only 5 days, with each session lasting less than an hour. When diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/Cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades with no cost until close. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's orchard.com.
Progressive knows when you own a boat or RV, it's like you're automatically on vacation, even if you're actually a marriage counselor in the middle of couples therapy. But in your mind, you're camping in Acadia, puttering around Frenchman Bay. Your boat and RV are both protected. You're lobster drenched in butter and... Uh-oh, did your clients just notice you weren't listening? Quick, do the thing where you just repeat back exactly what they said, but as a question. They bought it. Now back to Maine, earning an automatic discount bundling your boat or RV with your home or auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
I've always been a super athletic guy, but after I turned 40, I noticed I was slowing down. Instead of hitting the gym after work, I spent my evenings on the couch with a bag of chips. I was gaining weight, losing muscle, and when I did try to work out, I ran out of energy right away. One of my buddies suggested I book a free testosterone check at Revive Health, and that's when I learned that low T doesn't just impact how guys perform in the bedroom. I worked with a provider to create my custom treatment plan, and today I'm feeling stronger than ever. Last week, I even set a new PR at the gym. My only regret is not reaching out sooner.
If you're ready to book your free T-check, visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com or call 206-529-1111. Again, that's 206-529-1111.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, Cleveland Browns co-owner Jimmy Haslam today called the team's trade for quarterback Deshaun Watson, quote, a big swing and miss. In March of 22, Cleveland acquired Watson from the Texans in a trade package that included 3 first-round picks. The Browns then signed Watson to a $230 million contract that was fully guaranteed. Since joining the Browns, Watson has started just 19 games because of suspension and injuries, posted one of the lowest total QBRs in the NFL, and suffered consecutive season-ending injuries in 23 and 24. His quote continued, "We took a big swing and a miss with Deshaun. We thought we had the quarterback. We didn't. We gave up a lot of draft picks to get him, so we've got to dig ourselves out of that hole."
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
I actually talked about it on You Betcha on the podcast.
He is an unrivaled source of baseball knowledge.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
A guy who always has your back.
Pants back on, try and make the uniform look sweet in a split second. Come out, and I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, what the? And I said, listen, buddy, put your babysitting shoes on, because Dad's going out for Father's Day. You got to watch Top Gun.
Ryan Rowland Smith, every week with Wyman and Bob.
That's the opener right there.
That's right. He's with us each and every week during the baseball season. Always a pleasure to have this man join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He is Ryan Rowland Smith. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing fantastic, and how big time. I've got some video working. If you're watching at home.
Oh, there we go.
If you're in your car, you can't see it, but good to see you guys.
Yeah, that was weird. I was seeing Brock Hewitt up on the screen.
Yeah, I know. Me too. I was like, hold on. Who am I talking to?
Look, how much promotion does that show need? Do we have to stare at a picture of him during our show? For the love of God, man. Hey, before we get started, do you know whose birthday it is today? And it's not me.
I'm going to guess Dave Wyman.
Yeah, look at the big brain on Ryan.
Happy birthday.
Thanks,
Happy
buddy.
birthday.
Yeah, we don't
cool.
celebrate too much these days.
Really?
Nah, not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice of you to mention that. I appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Maybe you can
Very
give me a
cool.
shout out on the broadcast like you did the other day with
I did. Hey,
you and
I
Goldie.
gave you a nice little shout out.
I didn't necessarily want that because then I knew Goldie was going to, you know.
Oh, he
was,
went for the throat.
Yeah, he did.
I was kind of shocked.
I don't have his number, and I don't want it, okay? But I was going to text him. That was a good one. That was a good shot right there. Nobody knows opening day rosters like Wyman. Yeah, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
He put the
Yeah,
odds
hey,
of
by
you
the
being
way-
right at 50-50, and then he said, "Yeah, it seems a little high."
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't expecting that response, so I apologize, Dave. And being your birthday today, I should have given you a happy birthday right then and there. But,
you should know going forward to never tee up Goldie like that, because he called me a psychopath at one point.
That's right, and it was deserved, if I may say so, Ryan. So you were in the booth for all 4 games. Are you on the call for the Tiger series as well?
I am.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
I am for the next 3. So if that's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I thought you crushed it. I thought you did a great job, man.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun.
You seem very comfortable, very natural. So yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
But as far as what you witnessed out there, look, it's 4 games. We're trying to keep it all in perspective, but I think this fan base has got a little PTSD with poor offense, and then when you come out and average 2 runs a game for the first 4 games, it doesn't make anybody feel that good. And if not for a Julio monster shot, they're 1-3 in this series. What was your takeaway from what you witnessed?
Yeah, no, and it's a good way to put it. The PTSD. I think the one thing that kind of stands out to me is if let's say you went 0-4, and you did it, and you put up a 6 spot, and you struck out half the amount of times. Well, then you could walk away from that and go, oh man, we're losing games. However, this is a different team. But 4 games in, I'm not sitting here saying we're going to repeat what we saw in 2024. The hard thing that kind of raises its ugly little head is just the swing and miss. The 3rd worst in strikeout percentage after the 4-game series. They struck out 41 times, and you mentioned that home run from Julio. That's a big bright spot. Just to switch gears into a positive here with him, it took him 23 games to go deep last year. And if you remember, he was hovering in the 16, 17 home runs all the way up into the month of August last year. So that's a really good sign. It's just, to me, when you look at the team offensively, I'll get to the pitching in a minute. There's a lot of bright spots. But offensively, as a player, when you're in the dugout in the clubhouse, you get beat, strike out, 11, 12, 13 times, and you roll in, and you're sitting on that top step of the dugout from a pitcher, or if you're in the box or you're in the cage, you just have that, you're just reminiscent about 2024 and all the things that you wanted to try and correct, and the different philosophy and everything you sort of overcame when you're talking middle of August and September. So that was the difficult part, just from a player standpoint. I don't think it's going to last. I really don't. You just want a situation where you can go out against the Detroit Tigers, which is going to match up some tough starting pitching, but a bullpen you can handle. Go put up a 6 spot in Game 5, right? Go smash someone, and then so you can just say, you know what? Okay, yeah, we're good. I mean, there's too much talent in this lineup to even think or to have that PTSD, whether you're a fan and a player. And this is where I'm coming from about 2024 and what we saw in the first half of last year. So I think there was some bright spots, plenty of base runners. I thought Ryan Bliss, I love how aggressive he was all weekend. So there's definitely some bright spots, but it was just tough to overlook the 41 strikeouts.
What about the A's, Ryan? I mean, it just looked like a different team, and they actually made some moves. So how much do you chalk up to the A's or a better ball club? I know it's only a short sample, but
I'm not going to say they're a better team. Starting pitching, first of all, Jeffrey Springs. By the way, and I'm not talking. He just had this, flash of the pan, all of a sudden dominating the lefty who threw the second night. First of all, he punched out 9 at the end of last year. He was one of the most dominant in regards to stuff's numbers in the last month of the season last year before he hit the IL again, coming back from surgery. And that's why they went hard and they gave up, 4 or 5 players to get him. You also ran into Luis Severino, who I thought they had some really good at-bats against him. So when you're talking about the Oakland A's as a team in this division, don't sleep on them, man. There are some pieces in that in that lineup, and some young core players that are going to be sticking around for the next 3 to 5. When you're talking, obviously, Lawrence Butler, Brent Rooker, Jacob Wilson, and Max Muncy down the bottom. I was super impressed by both of those guys. So they're going to be a handful, I really feel like. The thing that stood out to me, and this is what I'm getting at, talked about the starting pitching. And then, JP Sears yesterday, they end up getting to him. The thing that stood out to me is the weak spot for the Athletics, excuse me, Sacramento A's, whatever you want to call them.
Just the A's.
They're Las Vegas, who knows. The thing that stood out to me, their weak point was that bullpen. You had a couple times there where you got to that bullpen in the 6th and 7th, where you got a chance to get a little deeper, and that's where you have to do your damage, right? And that's when, especially the month of April, teams get exposed because they stack up some starting pitching. They got some good offense. You know what? They shied away from investing in that bullpen, and that's where you can really get them. So the Mariners had some opportunities against that bullpen, and that's what's going to let down the Athletics. Excuse me, said it again. And I've just felt like, man, on two sides of this. Number one, it's like offensively, do some damage. Put him on the ropes. They had one kid, a Rule 5 pick, making his debut, who all of a sudden landed 2 pitches, and boom, all of a sudden he's out of the inning. And so there's moments like that which were frustrating. However, with the Athletics, looking at them, they're going to get let down by depth, especially in their pitching staff in that bullpen.
Hey, looking at the Mariners rotation, I thought Logan Gilbert was everything you expected him to be and more. I thought he was outstanding. I thought Brian Wu was very good. I thought Castillo was solid. I didn't think he was spectacular or electric. I thought his changeup looked really good.
Yeah.
But he's just not a guy who goes deep. He just is not. The efficiency isn't there with him. And then Miller was had some good moments, but overall you were kind of like, that wasn't certainly not his best. What was your takeaway from the 4 starts?
Yeah, first of all, Logan, congratulations, opening day start. That was special to him. And I had a really good chat with him on the top step. Have to mix it in there. Let's
You
go,
said
Dave.
it just
Let's
like
go,
Dave
birthday
Wyman.
boy.
Yeah,
I was trying to do the Dave Wyman impression. But there it is. He was so good on opening night, man. I was kind of maybe thinking, all right, you might lose a bit of command because he's so fired up, whatever it may be. Oh, man, he lasted two hitters with the nerves, and then after that, it was like untouchable. I didn't care who he was facing. And then you mentioned Luis Castillo, and I'll get to Bryce in just a second. And obviously, Brian Wu was dominant yesterday. He looked fantastic, and the fact that he can cruise through 6 and you can take him out without breaking a sweat because you want him to get 30-plus starts. But back to Luis Castillo, number one. You mentioned his changeup. Man, I would love to. Look, I'm not down there, and he knows obviously himself, and so does Pete Woodworth, does it better than anyone. But, man, he started to throw that changeup a little bit more, and he was getting swing and miss with it. The one thing with Luis Castillo, as the years have gone on, there's been a drop in the changeup, especially the lefties and the righties as well, and there just hasn't been the same swing and miss late in counts. There's been some really weak contact, and he's dominant. 2024, he was still dominant. But, man, how do we get back to that swing and miss? How do we get back to that point where he can get consistent at the top of the strike zone? And I've said this all year long last year. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you brought it up, so I'm going to just keep saying it. Throw that change up more. It's filthy. It is so nasty too. And every time I look on some of the metrics of it, I'm like, Dad, why did we put that in the back pocket last year? And then Bryce Miller, I think he looked good. Velocity was good. Spin was good. Everything. And coming off a dominant second half, and I'm not worried about energy fading, any stamina issues. Just a tough time. And he even said this in the post game. Just putting hitters away. And I'll be honest with you. I think coming out of spring training, I was curious as to what his weapons were going to be with 2 strikes. He went to that breaking ball a ton, but he didn't see the split as much. So I think, look, he'll figure that out. Once he gets on a roll like he did last year, and he knows what pitch, he throws like 7 of them, what pitch and what count feels the best, I think he's going to dominate. But that's what's tricky. When you're working with a new pitch or a couple new pitches and then you get to 2 strikes, sometimes it gets a little tricky because you got a couple options and you try and do maybe a little too much, and we saw a little bit of that. But he was still good, man. He was still really, really good.
Ryan, we were talking about Ryan Bliss and how natural he looked out there, very smooth. And then, of course, Polanco's bat was fantastic. What stood out in this series in a pleasant surprise kind of way?
Yeah. Okay. Ryan Bliss, 100%. And you guys have spoken to him. Great dude, man. He's so easy. He's just so easy to root for. And everyone knows that. Walk in the club, they say, hey, what's up? He's that kind of guy. So it's good to see him. First of all, first opening day, a lot of emotions attached to that. And then not just that, he's starting at second base. And so he's in this mindset, and Bob and I talked about this, what was it, last week, where not saying the organization is looking at him glass half empty, but you make the team because there's a need at second base. You've come off a good spring, and subconsciously, all right, prove to me why you shouldn't be here, if that makes sense, right? I've felt like that too, as a player that's trying to not just get to the big leagues, but stay. And I think for that's easy to slip into this mindset where I don't want to take risks. I'll hesitate a little bit. I'm not going to take that extra bag. He didn't do any of that. He was so aggressive. I absolutely love that. They need that dynamic offense. They need that scouting report to build with other starting pitchers coming in saying, hey, watch out for Bliss because he's going to take off, and just put that fear in the back of pitchers' minds when he's over at first base. That was huge. I thought he still handled. There's one fastball he missed up in the strike zone. That's a big question mark for him this year. Can he handle the fastball at the top of the strike zone? He missed one, I believe, and the rest he was on it. So I love what I saw. Pleasant surprise, and you can see him being more of an established piece there at second base. For Polanco, I love what I'm seeing offensively. The knee apparently feels a lot better. And for him, I think he's still it's a long season. A little bit of a work in progress over at third base. Spoke to Perry Hill. I talked about this on the broadcast the other night. It's super important because he wants to take it to another level, playing on the left side of the infield. So he's got a throwing program every day. He's working on that throwing program. There's a little hesitation there because Perry said just about, throwing. He kind of guessed this, to like crow hopping and just letting it eat with that left knee, like that landing knee. But, man, if you can get him swinging the way we saw it in the Twins uni before he came over to the Mariners, man, that's a huge plus for this team.
How patient do you think they'll be at third base with him? Defensively speaking, obviously, if the bat plays the way that it did through this series, he's going to be a huge asset. But again, 4 games, I keep having to qualify it. He looked like he could be a liability in the field. That was not a good throw when he charged that ball. It was like a 2 or 3 hop. Dylan couldn't pick it at first. It was just, it didn't look good. And we saw, JP sail a ball over Solano's head. We saw, I still don't know what the hell Colin Snyder was doing on the pop-up. There was some interesting moments defensively speaking, which you and I talked about, the idea that it could be a little shaky defensively in this infield. And unfortunately, we saw some of that.
Well, hey, yeah, Bob, you brought that up last week. I remember diving in when I left the show because I was like, man, hang on a sec, defense-wise, how are we looking here in regards to left and right, back and forth, and everything else with range? But look, Polanco, and like I said, so it's something they're probably working on right now, down here with with Perry Hill, and working on that throwing program. And it's not something, and Perry talked about this too, when he's a little bit more confident with the throw, and it's not because he's worried about his arm strength. He has the arm strength. You go on Baseball Savant, you might see a little blue dial there in regards to the low percentile arm strength, excuse me. But that's because he's playing second base, right? So once you get more reps and you get more opportunity at third base and you start letting it eat, I think good things are going to happen. The other thing is, too, mentally, look, I had landing leg, it's called lead leg blocking on my right knee as a pitcher. I had chondromalacia, all kinds of cartilage issues. In your head, you get in your head, when you are trying to throw and you keep landing with all that body weight on that front knee, it can get in your head big time. But once you throw and you're like, oh, I'm fine. And once you throw again, I'm fine. I think that's what's going to happen with Polanco. They can play him deeper once he can show off that arm speed a little bit more. I think this is very temporary. And once he gets that confidence, I'm telling you right now, everything will start opening up. So I'm fine with him at third base. He'll work through it. It's early. He said that there's 4 games. He's going to be their third baseman. They may slot him into DH and move some other guys around, which they have the ability to do that. But once he just airs one out and he does it again and he gets this arm strength cranking, he's going to be fine.
Lead leg blocking? Is that what you said there?
That's what it's called. Yeah.
Is that a bogan term, or is that?
No, that's a geek pitching drive line / nerd whatever talk. Yeah, no. So when your lead leg lands, boom, and then all that energy comes up the chain. But hey, if you've got a bad wheel like old mate over here, and you're a little husky, you're hefty, you're carrying too much weight, man, that cartilage just blows up. And that's what happened to me. So there you go.
Hey, what do you think about Hancock? What do you expect to see from him tonight? And just what your observations? Obviously, everything comes from part of spring training, but then leading into this first night, you think he's ready?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I think last year he was in a similar situation where. I'm not going to call it filling in, right? I spoke to him the other day. He's actually my next guest on the Top Step on Friday. How about that? But Emerson, I love talking to him because he goes a little deeper. And it's funny because there's the perception with him is, all right, hey, this rotation's awesome, but, yeah, you're going to be the 6th guy. And, Dave, you know this, man, being a former athlete, and Bob, I'm sure you felt like this too. In the back of your mind, I'm not a 6th man here. I want to be the number 1, number 2 in this rotation. He kind of has that mindset. I think last year was a little bit different. Going 12 months back, he was like, I've got this big opportunity. Let's see how long I can stick around. This year, I think he's got maybe a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, kind of like he had at the end of last year, and he's got something to prove. And so if he can carry that energy with everything he learned from last year, just even on just straight competing at this level, besides all the nerd pitching stuff that you can dive into, just from a competitive standpoint, he was so much better in September than what he was in April, even when he was rattling off a bunch of good starts before he got to Milwaukee in the month of April. I just think that there's a difference there. And like I said, going back to the fact he's got I guarantee he probably won't say it too much publicly. You can tell there's just a little bit of that chip on his shoulder to say, you know what, I'm auditioning every single time, and I want to stay in this rotation all year long, regardless of who's coming back, who's in the rotation. I don't care. I want to be a dude. So I'm looking forward to watching him. I love watching guys like that.
That's good to hear.
Hey, Ryan, what's your takeaway from the bullpen? You know, to me, it's been a bit of a mixed bag. You look. It's good to see Gabe Spire back. I know it was just a brief, 2/3 of an inning, but he looked good. Santos has looked pretty solid. Obviously, Munoz, Snyder all look good. Saucedo, not so much. Carlos Vargas, Bizardo, not quite. You know, again, early. Got to keep throwing that out there.
Yeah.
But what's your takeaway from the bullpen performances you've seen?
I think with Sauce, he threw a really good pitch. Guy got jammed. Should have been out of the inning. We talked about that Polanco play. And then it just, unraveled after that. You have those outings. He will have those outings. I think he's going to be fine as that second lefty. Gabe Spire, man, looked really good. Velocity's up, man. When that velocity's up 1.5 miles like it is, and you got that run on that fastball, then all of a sudden, I can get back in the strike zone. There's no better feeling. But I think this bullpen, it looks really good. You mentioned Gregory Santos, too. They gave him that lower leverage spot a little bit early in the game. And then all of a sudden he's pitching in a tight game. He looked even better when he got in that tight game. I think the one thing with Gregory Santos, just watching him throw, let's not forget, I think we label him as already being this established dude. He really isn't. Like, he still has a lot to prove as well. And when he came over from the White Sox, he was still kind of on the up and coming. There wasn't, and obviously he was injured and everything else. But I think he's going to be a big weapon. But there doesn't have to be this focus where he has to throw the 8th inning because he's got nasty stuff and then hand it off to Munoz. You can mix and match with him, get that ground ball if you need to. But bullpen, I think they're in good shape. Trent Thornton had a crazy month of September. Last year, he just had the tough July. So I think that the bullpen looked good. I think they're going to be solid. Just get in the strike zone, and they'll be okay.
Ryan, always good to talk to you, my friend. Congrats on the weekend. Great start for you. You and Goldie sounded great. I think you really helped him sound better, if we're being honest.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you kind of carried the show. You carried the show.
Yeah, right. By the way, Dave Wyman, happy birthday. What did Bob get you for your birthday? What did he get you?
Jack Squat. That's what I asked him.
Kidding.
That's what I asked him for. He gave me exactly what I wanted.
Yikes.
I was going to buy donuts, but Dave's trying to eat healthier, so I thought, well, this isn't gonna go against that. So I didn't do that, and I just gave him warm wishes and then begged our listeners to be kind to him.
I'm looking around. There's a box of chocolates down here. I'll leave them here for you. I'll write your name on there next time you're in the radio booth at the game.
We'll be there Wednesday.
Seriously, there's a big box of Puyallup chocolates. There we go. Look at that.
And they're not yours. You have no idea who.
Oh, no. I got them for you. They're here ready for you. No, I'm kidding.
We'll be there Wednesday, so make sure you put his name on there.
All right.
Look forward to seeing you guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
See you, buddy.
See you guys.
There you go. Ryan Rowland Smith with us each and every week during the baseball season. Did a great job in that opening series, and he'll be on the call during the Tiger series as well with Aaron Goldsmith. So good stuff from him. Meanwhile, what does the Seahawks pivot to? What do they pivot to? Their pivot to Sam Darnold is what I'm trying to spit out in English, Dave. Let me say that again.
Maybe Matt didn't print it out.
Nah, he did. I just was trying to speed through it.
You can blame it on me. It's okay.
They pivoted to Sam Darnold. What does it tell us about 2025? We're going to hear what one NFL expert said about that. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans? With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike Macdonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Hi, this is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. Spring has sprung. Need color to brighten up your yard or privacy trees to keep your neighbors guessing? Now is the time to buy. With hundreds of trees arriving in the nursery daily, Big Trees has the perfect tree for you. Check out our updated inventory list online at bigtreesupply.com or come visit the nursery today.
Need a break from everything? Escape to a place where anything is possible and the fun never stops. At Silver Reef Casino Resort, you'll discover world-class dining, championship caliber golf, and so much more. Come join the fun and see why we've been consistently rated one of the region's top destinations. Visit silverreefcasino.com to book your stay and discover all the exciting events and promotions we have in store for you. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5, exit 260.
Find out more at silverreefcasino.com.
John here with Happy Hauler. Furniture and household items you plan to throw away? We'll take them and prioritize donating and recycling, keeping items out of the landfill. Happy Hauler is Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
The smart way to improve home comfort is a new heat pump. New heat pumps from Home Comfort Alliance provide efficient heating and cooling in one unit. Upgrade today and enjoy 18 months same as cash financing and up to 15% off through March. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is for you too. Stubborn fat is really hard to get rid of, and then there's all those gimmicky lasers, fat freezing methods, and prescriptions. Imagine a simple solution that takes just one day and provides immediate noticeable results. Introducing ProSculpt. ProSculpt uses air-assisted technology that's safe and gentle yet powerful, delivering instant fat-reducing and skin-tightening results. Performed by board-certified plastic surgeons while fully awake, ProSculpt contours your body with minimal downtime. It's designed to target those problem areas: waistline, neck, face, arms, thighs. ProSculpt gently removes unwanted fat and tightens loose skin with FDA-cleared plasma technology, all in a simple, guaranteed one-day procedure. ProSculpt is one and done. Schedule your free consultation at proscope.com for $250 off. For powerful permanent fat removal and skin tightening that works for ladies and you men, it's proscope.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks to Ryan Rowland Smith, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys just tuned in and missed that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab. Scroll down to our picture, click on that. It'll be right there waiting for you, as it is each and every night after the show. And don't forget, you can click subscribe and never think about it again. It's totally free. Just shows up for you. It's perfect. Quickly, just going back through some of the previous texts. The birthday wishes for you, Dave.
Oh, yeah.
That we were soliciting to open the show. If you're just joining us, Dave turns 40 for the 21st time today. So we're celebrating that. But 253 says, good job not dying, Dave.
You like that one, huh?
That was pretty funny.
I'm not so sure I've done a great job with that.
You're still with us. Great job. 425 says, happy birthday, Dave. Hope your skirt gets blown up.
Hey, I like that one. Appreciate that.
Dave is the nicest dummy we all know. Does that work? Says the 253.
Not really.
Yeah, that's not very
Not
nice.
really. 253.
Calling
someone a dummy.
360. Happy birthday to my favorite childhood Seahawks linebacker.
Oh.
How about that?
Does he mean I was a child when I played linebacker?
I think they were a child. Okay. You were a linebacker during their childhood. If that doesn't make you already feel older. Alex in Monroe said, happy birthday to my favorite retired Seahawks linebacker working at Seattle Sports Radio during the 2 p.m. time slot.
Hey, that's good. Yeah, you guys delivered.
There you go.
Nicely done. I'm sorry you had to sift through all of the other ones, though.
Yeah. 509, I'll be celebrating Wyman's birthday today with a 6-pack of Miller Lite, the same way I celebrate every other day of the year.
Hey, how about have 7?
Yeah, there you go. Dave, you look like a great old man. Don't look a day over 40, says Connor in Bremerton. There you go.
Where's the jab?
I don't know.
No?
Maybe they're just saying you don't look your age.
I'm sure there's something to follow.
I think Connor needs to get to an optometrist.
Oh.
Thank you, Matt.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Look, Matt.
And it's my birthday, and I can't believe that you're talking to me like that.
I know.
Yes, you can.
Awful.
Yeah. That's, let's see, one more. 360, the happiest of birthdays, Dave. We all love regardless of what others say.
Yeah.
All right. There you go.
Gotcha.
There you go. Text line is there for you, 866-979-3776. We're trying to encourage you just to say nice things. You can take shots at Dave starting tomorrow, but we're just trying to be nice to Dave today on his birthday. How about that? Meanwhile, the host of the Athletic Football Show, Robert Mays, he was on with Bump and Stacy and talked about a few different things as it pertains to the Seattle Seahawks, and talking about the addition of Sam Darnold. And I just lost our sound page here. Hold on. Let me find it. I'll get to it.
Talked about pivoting to Darnold.
Yeah, I clicked on the wrong page. Here we go. Yeah, pivoting to Darnold and showed basically saying it's what we said. Like, you don't make that move if you're not tanking, but you're like, all right, we're kind of building for the future. You're not going to spend that money. You would have probably gone with Sam Howell or gone with a cheaper alternative. But he's saying this represents a team that is still feeling like, no, we're in the thick of it. We're going for this.
I think initially upon the trade, it could have been easy to tell yourself, yes, their aspirations for this year are different. They're willing to take a small step back. But the moment that it became clear that Sam Darnold was their alternative plan, I think that you could kind of stray away from that, because Sam Darnold, even if he's a younger quarterback than Geno Smith, you're paying a guy $35 million-ish a year. That's a sign that we still want to be competitive. Like, we're not taking a huge conscious step back here.
Yeah, you're not committing that kind of money in a rebuild.
No, I mean, yeah, it's funny how people look at it so differently, because to me, I mean, after that season, I feel like I'm much more positive. I talked about him during the season, where I'm like, okay, I'll take Sam Darnold as long as O'Connell comes with him, because he's obviously the guy that unlocked him.
The Darnold whisperer.
Yeah, but he's unlocked. I mean, he had those first 16 games. I know that the very last game against the Lions and then the playoff game with the Rams weren't good, but those first 16 games were real. So, yeah, I feel like that's what you're going to get out of him. So, yeah, I don't even see it as a question as to whether or not you're tanking. I think it's tough. I was listening to Mike Lefko and Bumpus today talking about quarterbacks. Like, how many teams have the guy? I mean, there's really like 5 really special players, 5 or 6 maybe, and then you've got some young guys that you're waiting on. And I throw like C.J. Stroud probably into that he still has to put it together for
Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, and same thing with him. So, you really don't know. And then, you've got probably the bottom half of the NFL just looking for somebody, like you don't have a starting quarterback, not the one you want anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, I think you can easily make the case that Sam Darnold is, as far as, I mean, look, there's a lot of, hope and waiting, to see, is that for real what he did last year? But still, for the amount of money, what a great deal. The only thing I'm more curious to see is Geno's contract.
Still waiting. Hey, it was a headline on ESPN that they're working on it.
Yeah,
I would assume they've been doing it this whole time. But
so their PR guy probably said, "Hey, we need to say something."
Yeah, people are probably going, "What's the status? How far are you? What's going on?" So let's pacify the masses and put this out there. We're working on it. Yeah. So we'll see what it ends up being. Robert talked about the defense and the strides they took in 2024, made it to where they have to keep competing. He calls it a legit defense.
Even if you wanted to get super cheap and young at quarterback, I think that the way that defense played in the back half of last season, the defensive talent they still have on the roster, and what Mike Macdonald is, I feel like the defense would be too good for them to actually tear it down and rebuild. So I can understand wanting to pivot to somebody like Darnold, who still gives you at least sort of a win-now option.
Yeah, the defense is definitely in win-now mode. No question. I mean, again, I would like to see maybe another safety. You can always use cover corners in the draft. An inside linebacker. We talked about the kid Jihad Campbell from Alabama. Yeah, being possibly in that range. And don't be surprised if they take a defensive tackle. But because there's a lot of really good ones in this draft. But yeah, I think after this draft, I think you're going to be looking at a really fortified defense that already played really well last year.
May's talking about he sees the vision of why the Seahawks went the way they did at quarterback, but doesn't necessarily agree with it.
My assumption is they're looking at Sam and what he did last year, all the under center play action, the infrastructure of that Minnesota offense, and I think combining that with a comfort in what Klint Kubiak is going to want to do. I mean, Klint Kubiak was in San Francisco when Sam Darnold was there 2 years ago. And so they're probably talking themselves into, hey, Sam understands this offense. I think he'll appreciate what we're teaching him within this offense. And the fact that we're getting a third-round pick out of this, $10 million cheaper or whatever the number is with Geno, and we're getting significantly younger, the opportunity cost associated with the position is in our favor here. I'm not sure I agree with landing in that spot, but I can at least understand how the Seahawks are probably thinking about this.
That's the one position I really don't fret over age. I mean, as far as building for the long term, sure, you would love to have, especially a guy on his rookie deal. But he's going to be 28 when the season starts, and yeah, to me, I just don't. until you start to reach like late 30s. I didn't even worry about Geno being older because Geno still could run. So and that's the one thing also that I would say, not a criticism, but something that I did like about Geno. I thought Geno was a above average running quarterback. I thought he did a good job with that. Not so sure about Sam Darnold. You know, we haven't really seen that out of him, and I think it's super important that your quarterback is able to be mobile and
especially
run.
If the line's problematic. Better be able to extend the play.
No
right?
question. Well, and I mean, and there's a difference between Aaron Rodgers, who just knows how to move around the pocket, Brady, and then a guy that can just take off and be a threat.
Yeah.
So, a running quarterback's a nightmare, and Darnold not really known for that.
All right, coming up, we'll go around the NFL and include a story about a former Seahawk and the quarterback that just won't go away. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Fourth down territory. Going inside the game with former Cougs and Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
The NFL's trying to clean up the game. What do they want to emphasize, and how do you feel about it?
The NFL wants to bring in more sportsmanship. And I understand they're saying, look, we want kids watching the game to learn from these guys. And listen, it is a good idea. But the ball player in me says, man, forget all that noise. This is football.
Fourth down territory. Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bump and Stacy.
Swedish Cyberknife is expanding. Hey, it's Dave Wyman here with some exciting news from our friends at Swedish. They're adding a second Cyberknife, so now patients can receive Cyberknife treatment at Swedish Cherry Hill and the First Hill campuses. And as many 710 listeners already know, Cyberknife is a non-invasive, non-surgical treatment option for prostate cancer with proven results using advanced technology to track your slightest body movement while adjusting in real time to deliver radiation with extreme precision. Healthy surrounding tissue and organs are spared from radiation. The end result, excellent long-term cancer control and significantly reduced side effects. Compared with other radiation therapies, which last 6 to 9 weeks, the Cyberknife treatment period is typically only 5 days, with each session lasting less than an hour. So when diagnosed with prostate cancer, consider treatment with Swedish Cyberknife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades with no cost until close. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Seattle? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Seattle for free. That's right, we'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FLIP to 64,000. Seattle is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop this week right here in Seattle and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FLIP to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FLIP to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FLIP to 64,000.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 4 o'clock, Brady Henderson will join us live from the owners' meeting, see if there's any more info on the banning of the Tush push, if that's gaining enough steam. I think, 24 of 32 owners need to vote in favor?
Yeah.
I think.
Does that become this year's hip drop tackle? Remember we just railed about that last year.
Yeah, and it just was a non-factor during the season. Yeah. This is a kind of a non-factor, at least for the Seahawks. They don't run it. We don't really face teams that run it. It really is isolated to a few teams. And as I said, the one article talked about only 2 teams in the NFL did it more than 5 times, the Eagles and the Bills. So others have attempted it, but it's just not a big part. So it's not like if it goes away, I'm going to miss my favorite play. It's more of a principle thing. Like, really? So the Packers, who couldn't stop it, they got burned by it, so they're going to hold their breath and stomp their feet loud enough to where we're going to go, okay, we won't do it anymore because you didn't know how to stop it.
Nobody knows how to stop it. I mean, it's incredible, the success rate. I think the thing about that I like the most is the innovation, of coaches just finding a way to, to figure the whole thing out. And, you have the snap count advantage. So that gives you the head start. I mean, I guess it could be that they have a great offensive line, right? But yeah, to me, that's the thing that I think is really cool about it. The one thing I would say, and it's not because of injury, because that is not even a factor in this. It shouldn't even be talked about because it just hasn't been a problem. But I'm just wondering if all of a sudden, the short yardage plays start looking too much like a rugby scrum and not enough like pro football, NFL football. So I don't know, but if it works and your team's using it, you love it. Yeah. You absolutely love it.
Yeah. To me, there's no real sincere motivation to get rid of it. There's not a compelling argument other than somebody saying it doesn't look like football. Well, somebody that played football in your day can look at the game today and go, that doesn't look like the football I played. There's a lot that was going on when you played that is not allowed now. It looks very different.
Yeah, well, as far as how you tackle people and
what's allowed. I mean, some of the hits you say it all the time. There'd be guys that would be serving jail time for the hits they were throwing out there and previous to you. Think about the 70s. I mean, come on, man. So, so if it's about aesthetics, it's about the way it looks. Well, this game is morphed into a different game than it was in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s.
Well, and then here's the other thing. It's a great innovation. So how about you stop it? Find a way to stop it. And I don't know what that would look like, but maybe it's a personnel thing or something. But but I don't know. That one, there's always something I feel like in the offseason with the NFL that's annoying.
Yeah, well, we'll talk to Brady and see what kind of steam it's gaining. Yeah, maybe a few more teams have said we're on board with that, but is there going to be enough to get it banned? We'll find out. Meanwhile, Mike Garafolo was talking about DK Metcalf, and he was had a throwing session over the weekend. He was out there catching passes from one Aaron Rodgers.
Look, it is a process for Aaron Rodgers, and my understanding is the latest step in the process, was over the weekend at UCLA. He threw to DK Metcalf. They did have a throwing session, the two of them together, according to sources informed of that workout. So Rodgers going through the process and checking all the boxes, and I assume it was a good throwing session there with him and Metcalf. So we'll see if that leads to him saying, you know what, yeah, I'm fully in. I like that guy. I like that target right there.
Boy, DK just out there. He'll catch passes from anybody.
That's right, yeah.
Remember when Russell Wilson was a dirty word here in Seattle? He was out there catching passes from him.
But he doesn't care.
You know what? I think it's a foregone conclusion. I mean, what are the Steelers going to do?
I just can't. I can't believe they would allow Mason Rudolph to be the answer.
Yeah.
With all due respect to Mason Rudolph, I think he is who he is, and he's not a guy that's going to lead you to the promised land.
And you just traded for DK Metcalf, and that one is. I feel like it's, and I think it's a good matchup too. And the matchup I mean is Coach Mike Tomlin and Aaron Rodgers, to see how he handles that.
Yeah.
Because as you pointed out, he's handled some clowns in the past and kind of went unnoticed.
Yeah, with Le'Veon Bell and certainly Antonio Brown is king of clowns.
Right, and there was a couple of times, I think, with meetings where he was late or something like that, and, he took care of it, and nobody ever really heard about it until later. So, yeah, it'd be kind of interesting. I think they're eligible to be on Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
So how about that? What a great show that would be. I mean, I would think they would get all-time ratings just for that relationship, to see how that gets played out.
Seahawks are eligible.
Yeah. I saw.
I'd like to see them on there, which never happened. So that'd be fun.
Hasn't happened yet.
Hey, one other thing that was out there that I thought was interesting is New York Jets chairman Woody Johnson, the only owner to receive an F grade in that NFLPA annual team report card.
Yes.
And he's not happy about it, calling the survey totally bogus. His quote, how they collected the info, who they collected it from, was supposed to be according to the agreement we have with the league. It's supposed to be a process where we have representatives and they have representatives, so we know that it's an honest survey, and that was violated, in my opinion. I'm going to leave it at that, but I think there are a lot of owners that looked at that survey and said it's not fair, it's not balanced, it's not every player, it's not even representative of the players. I think it is, because they were soliciting opinions from said players, and that was the grade you got, champ. So wear it. Those are your players.
Yeah.
It wasn't the opinion of somebody on another roster. It wasn't, what does this guy on the Vikings think of the Jets? It's, what do the Jets players think of their situation? You're the only owner to get an F, and I would defer to the guys that are in that building living it every day. I don't know how you say that's not fair, or they only talk to some players, or what, they didn't talk to the right ones that would say nice things. I don't know, all of the particulars in terms of how many players they speak to, if there's a minimum number or threshold that they have to reach, or anything. I have no idea. But this info came from those on the team.
Yeah, it's weird what he said. It's supposed to be a process where we have representatives, and they have representatives, so we know it's an honest survey, and that was violated, in my opinion. I mean, he's just throwing it out there. I don't know. Did they divulge who
who they spoke with?
Yeah.
Not publicly to us, but maybe behind closed doors.
Yeah.
They do. I don't know. Or maybe that's part of it. Is, hey, this is all anonymous, so feel free to be as honest and forthcoming as you choose to be. It's not going to blow back on you. I don't know, but that's the grade you got from those you employ. So I know it's hurtful, but it's it's not fake news. That seems to be the fallback. If you don't like something being said or reported, you just automatically say it's not true and it's been made up to hurt you. Right. It's just a very convenient way. So there you go, Woody. Wear that one with pride. Coming up, we'll get the latest on the NFL owners' meetings from our man on the scene, Brady Henderson. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
With Wyman and Bob.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
When you guys bring in free agents, then they leave and you don't sign them, probably unique to each one. But is it just something you learn in that conversation that you go, okay.
Yeah, a lot of different reasons. It could be medical, it could be personality, financial, how they're going to be a fit in the building, how much they love football, what kind of worker are they. There's a whole interview process that I don't want to give out, actually.
Hear the rest of this interview on demand at seattlesports.com and on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Protein, protein, protein. Everyone is trying to get protein in their diet, but we need fats too. Healthy fat, that is, like the rich, natural peanut and almond butters found at G2G protein bars. Most bars don't have it because, most bars aren't real food or refrigerated. Fortunately for you, we aren't most bars. At G2G, you'll find a balanced helping of protein and healthy fat. The fact that they're delicious is just the bonus. They're fast, easy, and perfect for on-the-go families. G2G protein bars. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Lee Johnson Auto Family. This is King. This organization's a special one. They call it the Lee Johnson Auto Family, and it's not just a name. It's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family, to work together, to really become close, and they show us in a lot of different ways that they do value us. Is it perfect? No place is. But I've been very thankful to be here in the almost 10 years and have every plan to stay here for a lot longer and just watch it continue to grow.
He's fun and professional, which explains why so many people visiting Lee Johnson Kia ask for him by name. The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto Family.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly Full Synthetic Motor Oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Tough news for the Atlanta Braves. Their outfielder Jurickson Profar has tested positive for a banned substance and will begin an 80-game suspension today for the start of the 3-game series from Dodger Stadium. He tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce, but just leave it at that. He's out, and he will be eligible to return to the Braves at the start of July, but he will be ineligible for the 2025 postseason as part of his suspension. Meanwhile, when it comes to popularity, Shohei Ohtani is king when it comes to jerseys, as he's got the most popular MLB jersey in the world. The league says the rankings are based on sales of Nike jerseys from the Fanatics network of sites, including MLBshop.com. Ohtani leads 6 Dodgers in the top 20. Others are Freddie Freeman, who's at number 2, Mookie Betts, number 4, Yoshinobu Yamamoto at number 10, Clayton Kershaw at number 11, and Kike Hernandez at number 16.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Owners' meetings are happening. Rules are being proposed. We'll see which ones pass, which ones do not. And we've got our guy on the scene. He's right there, boots on the ground, giving us the latest. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Does a great job covering the Seahawks for ESPN.com. Brady Henderson is with us. How are you, man?
What's up, fellas? I'm doing well. How's it going?
It's going well. What's the latest out there? The one thing that Dave and I were talking about as it pertains to rules is the whole tush push thing, and we keep hearing it's gaining momentum, it's gaining support for the ban of it. Just before we get into what you may be hearing around there, what's your opinion on it, Brady? Because I just think it's beyond weak that it's just something that the Packers couldn't stop. They got burned by it, so they have screamed and cried the loudest, even though it's isolated to a few teams that actually run it. And the idea that it could get banned because somebody doesn't know how to stop it and can't execute it the way the Eagles can. I think it's just a weak stance, in my opinion. Where are you at with that?
Yeah, I agree. I sort of view it as being kind of akin to, people who get all butthurt over somebody celebrating or, or somebody flipping a bat after hitting a home run. Obviously, there's a line there that you can't cross. But, my thought is if you want to, you should just be trying to stop it, is what I'm trying to say. And I think that was John Schneider's opinion. I think that's what he, what he told you guys when he was asked about it. And I agree. I mean, I don't necessarily see a safety issue, and I don't know that necessarily anybody is, getting hurt at a, abnormal rate on that play. So I don't really know how you could call it a safety issue. I think the league has had enough time. This isn't something that just came about a year ago. I mean, the league has had enough time to figure out how to stop it, and obviously they're just not doing a good enough job of that. So if you want it gone, stop it. I don't think the answer is having it banned for some, made-up reason.
Yeah, and for the injuries part, they're non-existent, really. I mean, there's not a significant reason in any way. What about as far as the seeding for the playoffs, Brady? Is that the second most sort of hot topic?
Yeah, I think that one, and then the other one that I think John Schneider mentioned on your show a week or so ago is having the ability to get on Zooms or whatever digital video conference app you want to use and talk to talk to free agents during that 2-day negotiating window. I think that was Pittsburgh's proposal, and it sounds like the Seahawks would definitely be in favor of that. Just knowing how fast free agency moves nowadays, it wasn't that long ago that, there wasn't such thing as the 2-day negotiating window. It would, free agency would just start, and guys, teams would bring in players for visits that they, wanted to either get to know or get to check out medically. And obviously you can't put a guy through a physical over a video conference, but you can, get to know them a little bit, which makes sense if you're going to, give that guy a boatload of money, upfront money as a free agent. It makes sense to want to get to know that guy. So I don't see any issue in being able to meet with a guy virtually. I think that one makes a lot of sense, especially when you just consider how much money is being thrown around somewhat blindly at the start of free agency.
Hey, Brady, just back to the tush push for a moment. Is it 24 owners, 24 of 32 need to vote in favor of something to pass it? Is that the number?
Oh, gosh. I want to say, I want to say it's 3/4. Don't quote me on that. Admittedly, I have not been following the league-wide stuff as much as just the Seahawks-centric stuff, but that does sound right, that it's a 3/4
Okay.
majority.
All right, I just wanted to double-check that. Because they keep talking about it gaining support, but is it going to be 24 owners that are going to do it? So I guess we'll find out. But
yeah, and that there's, the whole point is, guys are lobbying and teams are lobbying one another to try to get their votes. I'm sure it's, sort of like how it happens in politics too. But, I saw the comment from Nick Sirianni I thought was pretty funny, where he was talking about, the head coaches who worked for him. And he said, I better get those guys. I better get support from those guys because that push got those guys hired elsewhere.
Yeah. Hey, as far as the Seahawks-centric stuff, I saw you tweeting a few hours ago, and the tweet said, "Don't hold your breath on the Seahawks signing a veteran O-lineman." GM John Schneider told us at the owners' meetings that, quote, "It probably wouldn't be until after the draft as a cap casualty guy or something like that. We brought several guys through, and it just hasn't been a fit." So I know fans, they sort of bristle at that, and they bristle at the idea, as John has told us repeatedly by himself and with Coach Macdonald, that they like the guys they have. And I think that's hard for a lot of fans to swallow that pill, and they're really counting on it seems like anyway, and I'm curious your perspective, that this new scheme, the new offensive coordinator, new O-line coach is just going to be a difference maker for the pieces that are in the building.
Yeah, it's all of that. And I'm sure that they're going to, address it in the draft too. I would imagine they would do so with an early pick and then maybe even, another pick at some point in the draft. So it's not to say that they're going to just purely roll with the guys that they have, but, the fact of the matter is, we are 3 or so weeks into free agency. So, the guys that you would be able to get at this point, I don't know if there's a guy out there who, you would sign anyway right now who would come in and be a starter. I think that the caliber of players that left at this point are guys that, at best, you would, maybe sign to come in and compete for a starting job. And so if that's the case, and if, the price for offensive linemen is inflated just because there's not that many of them, then I see where they're coming from, especially because, as you mentioned, they do have more faith than I think a lot of people realize in their younger guys, Oluwatimi and Jalen Sundell being the two guys who it sounds like they're prepared for those guys to battle it out at center. The other interesting thing that Schneider said today was he was asked about the possibility of finding an upgrade at either guard or center in the draft, and he basically volunteered that, it's not a very good draft for centers. And so he said it's going to be hard to find an upgrade at center in the draft because of that. And also, the other part of that response was that they do like Jalen Sundell and Oluwatimi more than a lot of people realize. But to your point, Bob, part of that equation is they feel like they've got the right system in place and the right coaching staff. And, in terms of the teachers and the scheme and, the point that Snyder has made several times is that, he feels like their offensive line was really put in a tough spot last year with all of the shotgun they were running, which was, among the highest rate in the league, at least over the first half of the season, up until the bye when they, sort of dialed back a little bit on that, but also just the amount that they threw the ball. And, it's hard for offensive linemen just to sit back there and, expect them to hold up in pass protection when you're throwing the ball as much as they did and when you're doing it at a shotgun, especially.
Hey, Brady, just for you, how much information, where do you rank the NFL owners meetings? Like for you you're going down there talking to, do you get more out of, GMs and coaches and things like that? Like what's really like for a reporter like you, what's like the best bit of information that you can get, and what are you really looking for? Do you get more there than other events?
Well, yeah, I do it. The only reason I do it is because I like to play golf down here.
There you go.
In the back end.
You're in Florida.
No, I'm kidding. We, just at ESPN, they only basically will send us to one off-season event per year. So you sort of have to pick between the combine and the owners' meetings. And I've just found over the last few years that there tends to be more value in covering the owners' meetings just because it's a bit more of a relaxed pace than you go to the combine and there's just a lot more bodies there. There's a lot more, credentialed reporters that are there. So it's just, frankly, it can be hard to get a question in these press conference settings. And so, and you see a little bit of that in the owners' meetings as well. But, there's probably there's more information available. There's more people available at the combine who could give you information just because, all the coaches and the scouts go to those things. At the owners' meetings, it's just basically just the head coach and the GM. And obviously the owners. So there are fewer people there from the team, but it is kind of a more just relaxed setting that isn't quite as chaotic as it is in Indy.
Is there a position that you'd be stunned beyond kicker, beyond punter, the obvious long snapper, if they took at 18, where you'd go, that made no sense to me?
At 18, gosh.
Because we never know what they're going to do. They surprise us every year. When we think there's an obvious answer, they go the other way.
Yeah, a position that would stun me. I mean, okay, I'll give you a couple. I think running back would probably stun me just because they've got, two pretty good ones already. And, they no longer have Pete Carroll as their head coach. Left tackle, I mean, there's not a whole lot, really, when you think about it. There's positions that I would be at least mildly surprised that they would take. Like, I don't think they're going to take a quarterback at 18, partly because it seems like there's kind of a gap between the top two guys and the rest of the pack. Like, I don't know if 18 kind of feels like it's in that kind of no man's land. Like, I could see them maybe spending a day 2 pick on a quarterback, but 18 is somewhat tough to imagine. And then left tackle, knowing that they got Charles Cross, that they're probably going to extend at some point this offseason. So I mean, beyond that, to your point, beyond that, there's really not a whole lot. I mean, I think the door is pretty wide open for them. I think they've, outside of the offensive line, they've sort of addressed enough spots in free agency to where I don't think they're going into the draft feeling like, okay, got to have this position, got to have that position, because I think they've learned from times in the past where they have gone into a draft without having, or basically really having a weakness at a certain spot, and they have felt pressure to spend an early pick. And I think that's how you end up with LJ Collier and maybe some of the other draft mistakes is going into the draft really needing to get that position solidified. I think it becomes easier to reach for a guy and draft him outside of where you really would prefer to draft him.
Brady, I don't remember a year, and I'm wondering if you remember, where coaching is such an emphasis. I mean, that's kind of been the answer for everything, right? I mean, it's like, look, we got to get the right coaches in here and run the right scheme, and I don't know if other teams do their business that way, or that's how they explain things, but I don't know, it just seems to me like it's been pretty frequent that we've that's been part of the answer for almost every question, especially on the offense.
Yeah, and I think maybe that was just part of what happened with Grubb last season is, you see teams correct their mistakes with the moves they make after those mistakes, and I think with Kubiak, one of the things they're excited about is it's a proven system. And, the thing that I've, heard about the Shanahan system is it really is. It's not just a collection of, really cool plays that Kyle Shanahan has developed. It's really a system where everything complements everything else. And it all, it's hard to explain, but it just from what I understand, like every play sort of plays off another play in the playbook. It's not just a collection of plays that he thinks are going to work. And so when you hear the term system, that's really what it is. It's a system more so than just a playbook. And so I think they're excited about Kubiak, knowing that it is a proven system that he's running. Obviously, it's his version of the Shanahan system. But then also you've got proven teachers. And, for all the success that Ryan Grubb had, over his couple seasons at UW and even at Fresno State before that, that was the first time NFL coach that, he'd spent his entire coaching career in college. And, I think they realized that was a leap of faith and, because of the adjustment from the one game to the other. But, they're not going to have that problem with Kubiak just because he's an NFL lifer. He's obviously, held the job, 2 times plus another play calling stint for part of the season. And so it's a proven system and some proven coaches as well.
Hey, you brought up the idea of the Seahawks re-signing Charles Cross. Who else from that 22 draft class do you think is, I don't know, this season could be crucial for Ken Walker just to show he can be healthy and can be relied upon for, hopefully somewhere 14, 15 games at least. They spent a second-round pick on him. Abe Lucas is a guy that we've talked a ton about just being available, and then you throw Tariq Woolen in there who's, looked great as a rookie and then since then has been spotty at best. What do you think the chances are they retain all those guys, some of those guys? Who do you look at as certainty versus, all right, this guy's playing for that next deal?
Yeah, the two most likely to me seem like Charles Cross and Boye Mafe, just because they've been the most, consistent producers of that group. And when I say consistent, I would factor health in there as well. It's not to say they couldn't extend Ken Walker or Tariq Woolen, but I think, with both of those guys, whether it's just some of the durability or just the up and down play, I would throw Abe Lucas in that mix as well. I could see them wanting to, maybe see it for another season before they commit big money to those guys. But, they do have quite a bit of cap space to work with, maybe even more than they thought they were going to, just because, they didn't go into this offseason necessarily thinking they were going to, trade Geno Smith and trade DK Metcalf. And I think they went into free agency prepared to spend a lot of that money, on a lot of that cap space and cash on Will Fries, which obviously didn't come to fruition. So the upshot of all that is that they've got quite a bit of money to extend their own guys. You need the cap space and you also need the cash to do that. And I think that they'll be able to do that. I think it's still just going to come down to, the usual questions of, okay, is this a guy that you feel comfortable paying right now, or would you like to see it for another year? Would you like that guy to prove it for another year? But either way, I don't think, just the immediate cap space and immediate cash is going to stop them from extending any of those guys.
Hey, Brady, we talked about this with Mike Macdonald, and I don't know if this is Mike Macdonald thing or maybe it's that Schneider, with Mike Macdonald, the sort of combination there. But, when they cut Dodson and traded Baker, or was it the other way around? I think that was right. Anyway,
they traded Baker and then cut Dodson.
Yeah, so, I mean, it was like, wow, Mike Macdonald is not going to sit on his hands. He's really going to, make moves when he thinks it doesn't matter what the timing is or anything. And I wonder if that's just a combination of maybe bringing something out in Schneider, but then also just your take on how those two guys have operated together in the offseason.
Yeah, well, and they also, he also fired Ryan Grubb after after a 10-win season, where in a lot of years 10 wins is good enough to get you into the playoffs, at least as a wild card. And so, yeah, I mean, I think the Grubb firing, I think that was purely Macdonald. Obviously, I don't think that Schneider minded seeing him go, but I think that was a decision that was more so Macdonald, I would guess. Whereas, the other two, remember, John Schneider has final say over personnel. So I imagine he was heavily involved in those decisions as well. And, you've got to find a trade partner. And, he's the one who made that trade happen. And look, if they can't trade for Ernest Jones, maybe Baker is still, maybe he finishes the season with them. Yeah. So, but yeah, to your point, I think those guys, they work really well, and John does have final say over the roster. But I think what you're seeing is, he's not going to force Mike Macdonald to play with players that don't necessarily fit his system. So I think just like with Pete, even when Pete had final say, those guys collaborated on every decision, and I think it rarely came to a point where they had to get the tiebreaker involved, which of course was Pete Carroll having final say. And so I would imagine that's the same with Macdonald. Not to say that they always start out, agreeing on everything and seeing eye to eye on every single thing. That's just not realistic. But, I think those guys are making decisions in tandem, just like Pete and John did.
Brady, I'll ask you a question Dave and I were debating and throwing to the listeners last week, and that is, do you think this team, and it's almost not fair because we haven't seen this version yet, but do you think this is a better team with Geno, DK, and Tyler, or with Sam Darnold and MVS and Cooper Kupp?
That's a tough one.
You know how Moyer would answer that question? Let me see how next year plays out, and then we'll get back.
Yeah, I mean, can I answer that in like 8 months from now? No, I think just on paper, I think it's a better. I think that collection of players is probably better. The collection of players that they had overall, probably slightly better, but it's not just It's about more than just the players. It's about, the big picture in terms of, what are you paying everybody, and what's the long-term, outlook going to look like? Let's say DK Metcalf, for instance. He's obviously a better receiver than, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and I would say he's a better receiver at this point of their careers than Cooper Kupp. But what does that look like when, you pay a guy who's been unhappy for the last few years? And from what I understand, that trade request that DK Metcalf made, before the start of free agency, that was not the first time that he's requested a trade. And from my understanding, that's happened several times over the past few off seasons. And so, I think the question is, would you want to give a third contract to a player, deal with the inherent risk in doing so, and also deal with a guy who's been unhappy? And by the way, being unhappy several years ago when he was still fresh into that contract, that tells me that, his unhappiness wasn't always necessarily related to how much money he was making. And if that's the case, then giving him a new contract, I don't know if that necessarily solves the problem.
Do you know what it was he was unhappy with? Was it Geno? Was it the offense? Or do you have any idea?
I don't know enough to say with any level of certainty or authority. So I just know that, he's been unhappy, in past off seasons. And so I think they just reached a point where, they were sort of tired of dealing with it and, realized that they may be able to get something. And, if now was sort of the time to do it, knowing that, if you're going to keep him, you probably have to pay him a ton of money, which I think that they were prepared to do. But when he, made it clear that he was unhappy, I think that sort of was a turning point for them in realizing that, he's been unhappy, and it's the kind of unhappiness that, giving him a new contract, again, wouldn't necessarily solve.
Right. He is Brady Henderson of ESPN.com, joining us live from Florida, where the NFL owners' meetings are happening. Brady, great stuff, man. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, you got it, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Brady.
Yeah.
There you go. Brady Henderson. He didn't wish you a happy birthday, though.
That's okay. About that,
wanted
though.
to see if he'd remember on his own without prodding from me.
Yeah.
And it turns out he didn't. He's not a good friend.
It's pretty interesting little tidbit of information.
Yeah.
there, man. I haven't heard that one.
I hadn't heard that either. So I wonder what that's connected to. If it was just, hey, geographically, I don't like it. I don't like this offense. I don't like the quarterback. Who knows?
425 instantly texts in, see, DK a diva. Good riddance.
All right, coming up, will we see the Mariners bring some of their lauded prospects up this season? We'll get into that conversation coming up next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
What Randy brings is this kind of edginess that is pretty rare in baseball, to see it combined with kind of a look-at-me showmanship. I don't say that in a negative way, for someone to make themselves a spectacle like that, especially when they're as quiet as they are, until he does something awesome and then he turns into Dennis Rodman. Like, I love it.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Homeowners, any idea what's happening on your roof? Because I can tell you as a homeowner, I had no idea. I don't get on my roof. I've never been up there, and I really don't plan on being up there, yet it's a vital part of the house, obviously. You want to take care of it before any problems that are small now become big, expensive problems. So I had Asset Roofing come out just to do an inspection. They did it a little over a year ago and highlighted a couple of areas just to keep an eye on. So I figured it was time to check up on those areas and see what else was going on up there. So they came back, got up there, did an assessment of everything, did some moss removal, unclogged a clogged downspout, and then took pictures again. Sent me a very detailed report. Here's what we saw. Here's what we recommend. And that gave me peace of mind, knowing I got out in front of some potential big problems down the road while they are still relatively inexpensive. So if you're like me and you've got no idea what's going on up there, you don't spend any time up there, do what I did. Get Asset Roofing out there. They're the best in the business. They've been doing this for 2 decades. They are a credible situation. They're a credible company. They've earned their reputation to be the opposite of the bad contractor that's out there. Unfortunately, there are a lot of those. They are the opposite of that. And if you know what's happening up there, you know there's a problem, you need a fix, or you need a roof replacement, Asset Roofing has got you covered. They can do whatever it is you need to do. Just get in touch with them. You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. Head to assetroofingco.com. That's assetroofingco.com.
Pizza Hut's fan favorite Cheesy Bites pizza is back for just $15.99. Get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable cheese-filled bites. Plus the new Ranch Lovers Flight with ultimate chipotle and pepperoni ranch dips. Order now at pizzahut.com.
Through March 31st, save double your sales tax from Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Plus, enjoy easy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest, same as cash, 12-month financing. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com to save double today.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Testing.
We're live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the Mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear. Call me Papa Bear because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Subscribe to the Seattle Sports YouTube page to find new and exclusive content from your favorite shows and personalities daily. Just head to YouTube, search Seattle Sports, and click subscribe.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through April 21st, new customers can get started with 150 megabit internet and security edge for $49.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying internet package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Early termination fee applies.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks to Brady Henderson, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys are just tuning in and missed that conversation, you can find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab. Scroll down to our picture, click on that, and you'll find it waiting for you right there, as it is each and every day after the show. And don't forget, you can just click subscribe. It's totally free and shows up for you automatically. You never have to think about it. It's beautiful. Meanwhile, Mariners get back to it tonight. The Detroit Tigers, who are 0-3 so far on their season, come to town for a 3-game series beginning tonight. And Ryan Divish was on talking about a few different things as it pertains to the Mariners. He was on with Brock and Salk, and he talked about the young guys, the young names we keep hearing, whether you're talking about Cole Young or Locklear or Williamson or any of these other names. And he doesn't expect to see multiple young guys come up unless they're really excelling or the Mariners are waving the white flag.
Unless these guys are really, really producing at AAA and your guys at the big league level are really, really struggling, then you're waving the white flag on the season. Because it's the unknown. You built this roster regardless of whether people believe it, or I believe it, Mike or the fans believe it. Like in that room in T-Mobile, they built this roster believing they can compete for a playoff spot. And given the nature of the American League, you're talking probably about needing to win 85 games, 85 to 86 games. Their pitching staff alone should get them 80 wins. I mean, it would be difficult for me to believe that so many of these guys would be that bad that you would have multiple young guys come up.
That would be a bad set of circumstances if they said, we got to bring up 3 of these young guys because it's a disaster what's happening at the big league level.
Well, and then you know your starting rotation get you 80 wins, and you can't get, what do you say, 86 to 88,
85, 86 wins. Yeah,
you can't. Offense can't get us 6, 7, 8 wins.
Yeah, I don't see it sinking to those depths. That's assuming health and productivity from the rotation, which no reason not to expect the productivity as long as they are healthy. But as we're learning with George Kirby right out of the gates, never know. You never know. So we'll see what they're able to do. But yeah, it's always exciting. You feel like, yeah, bring up the young guy. He's in their top 10 or he's in their top 5. He's their highest rated prospect. They're still minor leaguers that have done nothing at this level. It doesn't mean they won't come up and shine, but the likelihood is that they don't, that they're going to scuffle, that there's going to be an adjustment period to this level of baseball. So,
yeah, and it's amazing to me, like when you compare it to other sports, and you know, particularly you see rookies have. I mean, Jaden Daniels, quarterback of the Commanders. That's amazing what he did. It's one of the hardest things I think, other than hitting big league pitching consistently. Playing quarterback in the NFL is ridiculous, but you see it all the time. You see, you know, it's fairly rare, and a lot of times I'll discount. I'm like, well, he's a rookie, this and that, but they get through it. And you know, they typically will have good seasons, not great all the time like Jaden Daniels, but man, when you get into Major League Baseball, it's just so different, and it's just a night in, night out, and you see flashes here and there, and then all of a sudden, you know, you see, okay, there's a reason why he's not ready to get called up and is getting sent back to the minor leagues.
A couple of guys he thinks we may see at some point, but he talked about people getting too caught up in what could come with youth.
Do I think we'll see Cole Young at some point? Yeah, of course I do. If he hits and Locklear may come up, you'll see them adjust. The one thing they do have is their bench players all have options, so they can move some guys around. But yeah, I think, to me, you know, you're going to have to find ways to piece together offense, maybe that like you did last year. But I don't know that a youth movement is that good. I think people, and this is true in college recruiting, it's true of the love of the draft and everything else. People have an obsession with potential, what could be. Yep. When you're in the brunt of the season, or even in the first few months of the season, it's like, figure out how to fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully if there is a problem or a problem that persists with the offense, and he talked about piecing together the offense the way they did last year. Well, they didn't really piece it together. It was not a good offense last year. No. It started picking up at the end of the season, but we'll see if there's any carryover at all.
Yeah, I think it was, we talked about it earlier, it was on-base percentage. On-base percentage was middling. It was good. It was pretty good.
Everything else was kind of stinky.
25 to 30.
Yeah, not good. Not good. And then Ben Williamson is the guy that could be an answer at third base at some point defensively. By all accounts, he's a major league glove right now. He's that good defensively, but the bat isn't up to snuff quite yet. But he talks about it being a bit of a disservice if you were to bring him up currently.
I know you want Ben Williamson, and I think it would be a disservice to bring him up right now. You know, you mentioned Zunino and bringing somebody up before they're ready and what that can do to their approach and their swing. Ben Williamson isn't as strikeout prone as Zunino was even coming out of college. But like somebody says, well, we just need him to hit 150 like everyone else, and we'll take the defense. Yeah, but it isn't how you get to 150.
Got kind of cut off there, but yeah, that was. I remember that with Zunino. I mean, when he would hit a home run, I mean, it was like, I felt like a lot of them should have counted for 2 runs.
Yeah, there were no wall scrapers with him.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but he was kind of all or nothing. He's either going to crush the ball or completely miss it. So he was a lot of swing and miss with him, and he's a guy that you know had a lot of college experience. So you figure he's a little more advanced than a lot of these guys that come straight out of high school into the minor leagues and don't have that under their belt.
Yeah, was in Florida?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he struggled, you know, even with all of that experience. So, I mean, look, every one of these players is different, and somebody may gravitate to it quicker and adjust quicker and hit the ground running versus somebody else who's going to get called up, get sent back down, get brought back up. I mean, we saw that with Cal.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
Cal was not a good hitter when they brought him up, and the only reason he got brought back up when he did is because Murphy got hurt.
Right.
So he had just been sent down. So it's everybody's unique in that, and you know whether you know it becomes a situation with Williamson where they desperately need him. So, hey, we're going to rush him through. I hope it doesn't get to that point. That would be the one position, though. I could see it because you've got answers at second base. You've got multiple options at second base. You got multiple options at first base. Whether you think they're great options or not, that's another conversation. But third base, right now it's Polanco and it's Donnie Barrels. And I guess you could have Dylan Moore there. I mean, do you feel great about any of those guys? Certainly offensively, the way Polanco started is great. The way he started defensively is not great. And then you got Dylan Moore who can play there defensively, but offensively he just doesn't provide you much. And the Donnie Barrels, I don't really know what to expect from him. So that feels like a more, if there were to be a sense of urgency, it feels like it would be at that spot over first and second.
Yeah. Polanco, it reminded me of who was the player? I think it was Divish that said, as a third baseman, he's a really good DH or
Ty
something
France.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like he is a good DH.
Yeah. So if the bat keeps cooking the way it is, at least through this first 10 at bats, he's got 5 hits. So we'll see if he can keep.
I'm sure he can keep that up.
Yeah, he should bat 500 for the year. That should be pretty easy. Coming up, we're going to hear a reporter, an MLB player, and the Mariners franchise all get burned when we sweep the dial. That is coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
How does the Macdonald-Schneider tandem look like the Carroll-Schneider tandem in terms of figuring out who they want to have play here?
Every day at 7:45.
I think it's a little bit different, Salk, because certainly they both say the same thing. We want guys that love football. But the optics and the lens through which Pete Carroll looks at that and Mike Macdonald look at that are different because their wiring is very, very different.
Blue 88, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
Look, there's feelings, and then there's the facts. If you're feeling like your finance team is bogged down in mundane, manual tasks, the fact is, you need Ramp. Ramp is the corporate card that makes the expense process fast and easy. The moment your team makes a purchase, Ramp handles everything. Receipt collection and approvals, the works. With Ramp, you can cut your month-end close from 5 days to 1, customize approval workflows, and get complete control over every transaction. Facts. Over 25,000 businesses trust Ramp, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, which is why they were just named #1 in spend management by G2. Facts. Start using Ramp and you'll have more time to spend scaling your business. And that'll feel really good. Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's RAMP.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Brock Heward here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen. And PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Get an expert now on TurboTax.com. Only available with TurboTax Live Full Service, real-time updates only on iOS mobile apps. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it'd go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Washington State has the third highest cost of living in the nation. If Olympia politicians raise taxes again, the cost of everything from groceries and gas to housing will go up even more. They've already doubled spending over 10 years, with little to show for it. Washington State needs lower costs, not higher taxes. Demand smarter state spending now at affordablewashington.org. Paid for by people for an affordable Washington and Olympia, Washington. Top 5 donors are Washington Alliance for Competitive Economy, Microsoft, Madrona, T-Mobile, and Alaska Air.
4 down territory, going inside the game with Michael Bumpus.
I like this. More quarterbacks should start doing this.
Every day at 11:15 and 1:15 on Bumpin' Stacy.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
Dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Who's cutting down the nets this year? Get in on all the tournament action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest upsets to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
LSU women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey had an interesting response to a question about her team's loss.
Jaden Smith, KLSU Sports. Coach, this is the second straight year you guys get eliminated in the Elite Eight. Yeah.
Terrible or is that good?
Terrible.
How many Final Fours you play in?
None.
So it's probably pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, Final Fours you playing? I like the accent.
It sounded like he was trying to be nice. He was kind of like, yeah, it's a tough one. And then she
asked if that was terrible or good. He said terrible.
Yeah, it was just very. It was kind of an innocent response there. Like he was trying to get the answer right, and he probably shouldn't have. He probably should have just said, "No, no," and backed off.
And said, "Well, that's what I'm asking you." You know.
Yeah.
I said, "Do you feel like, hey, this is good? We've made it to this point each year, or is it bad that we haven't gone beyond it?"
I'll tell you what, the way she plays it and like to watch the expression on her face and everything, it's pretty damn funny.
Well, I didn't see the video. Was she angry or was she smiling?
Yeah, no, she was just like pretty serious and just like it was very deadpan.
I mean, Final Fours you playing.
Almost like you couldn't really see it coming. Pretty hilarious.
Sweeping the dial.
On the Red Sox postgame show, Jonathan Papelbon had a colorful analogy when discussing Rafael Devers' shape.
Maybe he's out of shape. I don't know about both of them, but, game shape, playing shape. But, maybe we got to trim a little bit of fat, Jim. You know what happens when you trim fat? Pig squeal. Oh.
Where's this going? No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, you trim fat, pig squeal.
Pig squeal.
That's what you're looking for your pigs to squeal.
They need some squealing.
Hit home runs.
They need some squealing.
Hey, where's Papelbon from? Also, he's got that accent too. You know what happened when you trim fat? Pig squeal, Dave. Woo!
I think that was a selective.
By the way, talk about a punchable face. Holy mackerel. He was the originator, Jonathan Papelbon.
Oh.
Couldn't stand that guy. Yeah, I don't know. Is Devers out of shape? He's not. He's off to a horrific start.
He's looking a little chunky.
And I like how in parentheses Matt puts, is 710's roundest employee. I take offense to this.
Yeah, it's funny. The Kim Mulkey thing, I thought that was one of the funniest pieces of audio I've heard in ages. But this one rubbed me the wrong way. I don't like him talking about my fat brethren like this.
710's roundest employee.
I take offense to you thinking you're the roundest.
I think there's
a 710.
Couple of people in the newsroom that may have you beat, man.
710.
Oh, 710. Well, there might be somebody who has you beat on 710 too.
Yeah, maybe.
We can't talk about that.
Yeah, I don't. Is he? What you don't want to hear any more guff about your Red Sox? Is that what's going on?
I was told to hit it.
Is that right? Well, you tell me.
You're
You're the Sox honk. So is Devers out of shape? Is he fat?
I think he's just playing a new position. He's not used to. I mean, he was always best when he was in the field in rhythm. He was not great in the field, but like he had his system down.
Now he's a DH.
Now he's a DH. He's got a new system to adjust to, and it's taken some time.
All right.
If this happened in like August, I would be way less worried about it. It's just the first thing happening right out of the gate, so it looks a lot worse.
After he was very, very adamant that, no, I'm a third baseman. That's my position. I am not a DH. And guess what? Now he's a DH.
I don't think he looks like he's overly heavy. It's kind of like, remember when Russ, you'd see him in the off season and he'd come in and be like, look like he'd maybe 10 or 12 pounds to lose. Same thing with Tua. Remember Tua, they would always call him fat. And I'm like, he's in shape fat.
He's a solid fat. All right, go ahead, Matt.
In her first series with Dave Sims in the Yankees booth, Susan Waldman absolutely torched the Mariners.
Both have been on.
Oh, look at this by Jazz, deep to right center field. That's out of here. Another pay now for the Yankees. They're killing Milwaukee. It's 13-3.
You're not going to know what to do with this. Your old team didn't score 13 runs.
Don't rub it in. Be nice.
Welcome to the New York Yankees, Dave Sims.
You shut your face, Susan Waldman.
You love her.
I don't.
That's your favorite broadcaster.
I think she's awful at what she does, but she wasn't wrong. She's not.
Yeah.
She's. I jokingly tweeted that out, like unnecessary shot, and then I had to put a smiley face emoji, like laughing, and people were like, "You're wrong. It was necessary." I'm like, "Did you not see the emoji I put there?" It says I was kidding. Yeah. She's not wrong, but doesn't make her any better at her job.
So in the tweeter world, if you put a little smiley face, it takes care of everything.
It should. It's a way for you to interpret the tone of it. If I would have just said unnecessary shot, then it may sound like I'm mad about it or something.
Yeah.
But I put the laughing face, and some people
So you
skip
laughed
beyond
at it.
it's unnecessary. Come on. Yeah. But she's not wrong. It's not a great offense. Has not been a great offense, and through 4 games, it's not a great offense. So give her credit for accuracy, but she's one of those people. Long before this comment, that her voice just hits me in the wrong place. I thought her and Sterling were horrible.
What if you would have said, "You shut your mouth when you're talking to me," and then put a smiley face? Would that be okay?
I don't know. I'm sure somebody could find a way to take offense to it.
Yeah.
Don't you think? People get offended by anything. Some people, if you don't have the right look on your face, they get offended. So it's, I don't know. But I'm sure Dave's having a great time calling 15 home runs in their first 3 games. That had to be fun for him.
Oh, my gosh. I mean, yeah, she's not wrong about that. But, yeah, I like the Sims response there. Yeah, good for him.
Yeah, I'm sure it is probably quite a change for him where he's just seeing balls just leaving the yard left and right. And, again, the Yankees play in a very hitter-friendly park.
Yeah.
So... And they do have a lot of talent. That's a talented lineup, certainly. And the guy with the most home runs is not a guy using the torpedo bat.
I was going to say that.
And Aaron Judge, who's got 4 home runs in 3 games.
Torpedo bat really sounds so much better than they were calling it the bowling pin.
Yeah.
It much more looks like a bowling pin.
It does.
But, yeah, it doesn't sound as badass.
The bowling pin bat. It's not very intimidating.
No, it's not.
He's bringing out the bowling pin bat. look out, pitchers, here they come. I don't know. What'll be interesting about that is if we're going to see it become a prominent part of other teams now that the Yankees got off to the start. Are there going to be other guys calling their reps or however they acquire their bats saying, I want to send some of those here.
Yeah.
I want to try, or maybe they just see them trying them in batting practice, see how they feel to them, because there's a lot of hitters out there looking for an edge, and if they can find it in the bat, they're going to do it.
Oh, can you imagine? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think everybody's going to – I was talking to the bat guy that when we were down at spring training.
Mm-hmm.
And
the guy, the vendor?
Yeah, the vendor that was, kind of outside the clubhouse there. And, he was saying one of the things he said was it's amazing how much it's just like a feel thing for these guys. You know, you can get two bats that are pretty much the same specs, but that, you just, it's the way it feels. It's just like, okay. And, the other thing is, okay, if you get, on a little bit of a hot streak, like, okay, that's it, man. That's my bat.
Don't nobody touch it.
Yeah.
Leave it alone. Don't even look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, everybody's got. You just got some bats that have kind of that hockey puck knob at the bottom of the barrel. You see the axe handle bats. We got one in here. Mm-hmm. People feel like it gives them an edge. You're going to see this become more prominent. And again, by Major League Baseball standards, it meets all the requirements. Yep. It's not exceeding anything. It's just redistributing where the wood is, and it's a little, when you do see it holding, you don't really notice it when somebody's standing at the plate. It's not that obvious,
right?
But when you just see a still shot of it, it does look a little goofy.
Yeah,
it does look
goofy
like
looking
upside down bowling pin,
right? But yeah, the same specs, but just the sweet spot, just a little bit fatter.
All right, coming up, we're going to make our predictions for the Mariners series against the Tigers. That is coming up next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Seattle Sports, your home for Brock and Salk. Weekdays 6 to 10.
There is no offensive problem in Seattle when Julio is hot. None. All of the offensive problems that the Mariners have had in the last couple of years disappear when Julio's hot.
Yeah, you can put all that pressure on Julio, and it's all about Julio. And if Julio goes, everybody else goes. But we also know every rotation that comes in says, don't let that guy get going. Mm-hmm. So we will not give him much to hit.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sinks overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Taxes was taxing. Now taxes is relaxing when you file for free.
I can file for free? TurboTax Free Edition. Roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple Form 1040 returns only. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. I can file for free.
Now this is taxes. File for free with TurboTax Free Edition and get your maximum refund. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, and student loan interest. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free.
Well, here in our region, it's really common for homes to have damaged insulation or even no insulation at all in their crawl space or attic. Well, in the winter, that'll make your home cold and drafty. And in the summer months, it can turn your home into an oven. It's Mike Salk here, and utility companies have special incentives right now to help with the cost of having your home properly insulated, including a once-in-a-lifetime rebate from Puget Sound Energy. So if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yes, they will cover up to 95% of the cost. And if you're anything like me, you love the idea of somebody else paying to improve your home, add value to it, and save you money along the way. How good does that sound? Don't wait. Call Crawl Pros to learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free, and then what energy rebates you're eligible for. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-961-5544. 800-961-5544.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Atlanta Braves outfielder Jurickson Profar tested positive for a banned substance and will begin an 80-game suspension starting today for the start of a 3-game series at Dodger Stadium. This, according to Major League Baseball, he'll be eligible to return to the Braves on June 29th against Philadelphia, but he will be ineligible for the 2025 postseason as part of his suspension. Meanwhile, NFL owners have approved a tweak to league rules for flexing Thursday night games on Amazon Prime, reducing the window for notifying teams of a change to 21 days. The window had been 28 days since the rule was enacted in a very contentious vote before the 2023 season.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
The Detroit Tigers are in town for the three-game series. We will turn you over to the Mariners pregame show coming up at 5:30 right here. It's Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710. What are you playing with there, Dave?
I've got a Julio Rodriguez bat flip doll. It's not a doll. It's an action figure.
It's a doll.
All right, here we go. See if I can do this without breaking it. Look at that.
Still in one piece. Dave would just go, it just broke on its own.
It broke.
It broke. So the Felix bobblehead bat flip is being handed out at all three games. Or Julio. I said Felix. Julio, yeah. It'll be given away tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday.
Nice.
So 3 cracks at it.
Matt said that if he had this at his desk, that he would never stop playing with it.
I honestly, I truly would.
Yeah.
During most of that break when we should have been like discussing, what are we going to talk about in the show? I was just playing with the bat. I couldn't help it.
I just loved how fearful he was that you were going to break it.
Well, there is a track record.
Can you blame me?
Of things that just get broken.
Dude, I'm telling you, the coffee cup, that was ridiculous.
The coffee cup, the stairs, the headphones, the chair, everything, it just breaks.
Yeah.
He's just got some bad luck.
That does give me some moment of pause there. But the coffee cup was ridiculous. I was just holding it by the handle, just like this for those of you on the stream.
You were holding it too hard.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And it was just... I hadn't even taken a sip yet, and it just broke. It broke
on its own. Dave's got a weird magnetic force that emanates from his body that causes things to weaken.
I just realized it's his birthday today. We should have gotten him like crazy glue as a gift. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, that would have been a big roll of duct tape and some crazy glue, some Gorilla tape. Yeah,
there you go.
That would have been good. So there you go. There's the Julio bobblehead, bat flip bobblehead that'll be given away at tonight's game, tomorrow's game, and Wednesday's game.
You know, if you gave this away, 25, 30 years ago, he'd get beaned for that.
For the bat flip, yeah.
There's no bat flips back then. When did that become okay? Like maybe 2000?
It's been a gradual thing. It just kind of gradually, guys would push it more and more. I feel like Tatis is the one who really brought it to a new level. And we were sort of waiting. I mean, because you look, when Manny Ramirez was there, I literally saw him hit a ball, look at it, drop the bat, spit, unzip a glove, restrap it, and then run.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, somebody deserves to get beaned. I would think it's that guy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, forms of it have been going on for quite some time. But, yeah, it's reached new levels now.
I've come to appreciate hitters. One of them, unfortunately, Jerks and Profar, that kind of torment the pitcher.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
You like Caballero and you like Victor Robles. And
Victor.
Rosarena to an extent.
Yeah. Spikes the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. That was good. All right. We did this for the opening series of the A's.
Do we have to do this?
Well, yeah, because I did really well and you did not. So this is a chance for you to redeem yourself.
How many games
on your
are
birthday?
there?
3.
Okay.
There's 3 games,
Let me
Dave.
get the math
Dave's
down.
going 2-0. Let's call it now.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
It's time for Wyman and Bob to put their reputations on the line.
I need to know what I stand to win. Everything. Call it.
This is Call It Now.
Good answer. Like the way you think.
All right, Dave. 3 games are going to be played between these two teams in this series.
I'll tell you what, I was like, okay, I'm going to say 3-0, and I'm hoping that somebody will laugh, and Matt delivered for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't stop laughing. It really did get me.
I got Lefko the other day with the cough button. Remember
you like that
the
one?
cough button
Did
joke?
he
I like
laugh?
the cough button a lot.
Did you
too.
like that?
Yeah, that one got me.
Thank you.
The dad joke?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, how does the button make you cough?
Come on, raise your standards, man.
Yeah, Lefko, like he was, maybe that's a bad sign if Lefko thought it was funny.
I thought that was really funny when you said that, Dave. I was cracking up. All right, 3 games. What is their record going to be in these 3? How many of these 3 games do you see them winning?
All right, I'm gonna go scorched earth here. Just 3-0.
Really?
3-0 on this one. Why? Because this really was the series that they unexpectedly got beat last year. And I think did they go down 3 games? Was it a 3-game series? I thought they lost all of them, but yeah, it was horrible performance. And you look back and go, oh, they missed the playoffs because of 1 game. And they were coming off a series, I think, with the Mets.
Mets, yeah,
where I think they torched them, and then they go on the road in Detroit. And I remember I was down in Tennessee for the joint practices with the Titans, and yeah, it was just like, what in the world is going on here?
So you're going 3.
So I'm going to say they're going to get some revenge there.
Some payback on that one.
Payback. There you go.
You think they're still thinking of last year, going, oh, I remember these.
Not a chance. But I am, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, let's see. I'm looking at the series. So it was bookended by Detroit. So they lost 2 of 3 to Detroit. Then the Mets came to town and they swept them. including the finale in that one, 12-1. So they shut them out in the first two games, 6-0, 4-0, 12-1. Mets scored 1 run in that 3-game series, so we were feeling good.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
What is that, 22 runs they scored? 22-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then Detroit, you go on the road to Detroit, and they were swept. They lost 15-1 in the first game. Then they lost 3-2 in 10 innings, and then they lost 2-1. So the offense went dead. They scored 22 runs against the Mets, and in 3 games they scored a total of 4 runs.
The most frustrating game, they lose 2-1. How many times have we seen that?
Well, and 3-2 in 10 innings as well.
But, I mean, just, you could only get 1 run. Just one. So, anyway, I don't think anybody on the team cares about that. But
all right. So
that's a bad memory, so we're going to erase it big time.
I hope you're right. I'm going 2-1. Right now, the Tigers are 0-3. I think they're better than 0-3, but I think they might get one, and it could be tonight.
Didn't they lose an extra inning game to the Dodgers, I think? I mean, there was a ton of, home runs launched and offense. But
let's see. Yeah, the second game. So they lost 5-4, 8-5 in 10 innings, and then 7-3. So they got swept, but they lost the second game in 10 innings, so that went extras. So I'll go 2-1. You're going 3-0. All right, over under 6.5 runs scored. Because they averaged 2 runs. This is just to explain how we came about this number. They averaged 2 runs per game in the series against the A's. They scored a total of 8 in 4 games. So we'll give them a little over. So they got the hook, 6.5.
I'm going all in over, of course. And if it's under, not good. Not good.
Unless they win all 3, 2-1.
All right. I'll take that.
2-1.
Yeah, but you're still gonna go, hey man, this is our great pitching. This is what the problem was in the offseason, and we didn't address it. And I don't want to be singing that tune.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Matt's already put me in there for under, but 6.5.
I was just kind of assuming.
I don't have a ton of confidence.
Bob's a tough grader.
Yeah, but Bob, Dave said over.
So my natural inclination should be to go opposite.
I mean, yeah.
All right.
There's a track record here.
All right. I'm going to let Matt talk me into this, and I'll blame him if I'm wrong. I'll take the under.
I can't wait.
I'll take the under.
I can't wait for this one.
This one. All right. Over or under 2.5 home runs?
In the series?
Yeah.
I am going to go over on that one as well. All in. I think it's just going to be a bloodbath.
Just a scoring bonanza.
Tigers,
Pitching won't
absolutely.
really account for much. It'll just be whoever has the last at bat is just going to mash. It's going to be 10. It's going to be 10-8 finals. 2.5. They're going to hit 3 homers, 3 games. I'm going to take the under. Take the under.
You are a tough grader.
I did well on the first go round. All right, and then on runs allowed.
Smart.
9.5.
Matt is writing on the page as we speak.
Matt's fault. Smart.
I'm surprised he hasn't put me as dumb yet. Of course, that's
now you just
coming.
gave him an idea. There it is.
Dump, he writes.
Over under 9.5 runs allowed.
Allowed? I'm going to go under on that. Yeah, superior pitching.
Yeah, you're going to go with Emerson your first game.
You know what? That was cool hearing from Rowland Smith about how, everybody's like, oh, he's the younger guy, and, he's kind of, be quiet about it and be a good rookie, whatever, and he's got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Well, they put up 12 runs against the rotation that people say if there's a better one than the Mariners, it's the Dodgers. Yeah. They put up 12 runs on that rotation. You're starting with Emerson, so I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
I'm gonna go over on that. Hopefully, I'm wrong.
So far, I am dumb and foolish.
What else is new?
Oh yeah, there we go. And then I got one is Matt's fault, and the other one is smart. Love the commentary on there. So there you go. There are the predictions for the Tigers series. And Jason Benetti, who's on the Tigers broadcast, was talking with Brock and Salk this morning and told us, in his opinion, a guy who sees that team up close and personal, what they should expect from this Tigers team.
I think you're catching the Tigers at a pretty decent time. 3 center fielder injuries is not the way you want to leave spring training. So Parker Meadows, who made that wild catch last year to rob the home run, is out. He's got a nerve issue. Matt Vierling is out. Wenzel Perez is out. They have 3 center fielders out of the lineup. I will say, though, you leave a 3-game series with the Dodgers, you get swept by the Dodgers, and I think this is as good as you can feel about a 3-game sweep to start the year because, they played the Dodgers to the bitter end twice and then lost kind of going away for the Dodgers the other day. But they very easily could have won on Friday, and they scored runs.
Yeah, as we just talked about.
What was the guy you mentioned there that robbed? I think he was referring to. There was a home run that got robbed. I'm trying to remember who that was. It Julio? Yeah, Julio got robbed. It was just an amazing catch that he made up over the wall. So, yeah.
Was it Riley Green? Was that the name?
Is that who it was?
I think that's their center fielder.
Thanks for bringing that painful memory up, right? Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see how. Like I said, we were talking about this with the A's that. Hey, I got it right. I didn't call them Oakland or Sacramento or anything. They're just the A's. But let's see. We'll see how good they are. I'm going to be interested to see where they. According to our guy Amsinger, they're going to finish ahead of us in the AL West.
Everybody's going to finish ahead of us in the AL West, according to Amsinger.
But it just looked like such a more talented team.
Yeah.
Sure.
JD in the 509 said, based on Bob's over-unders, the Mariners will go 0-3 in this series. No, I'm just counting on them to do just enough and pitch really well to get 2 of 3.
I think if I was you, Bob, I would say I'm a realist.
That's very much it.
I'm an optimist.
And then 206 says, Dave, you're not dumb and foolish. You're just old.
Oh, that was it was a backhanded birthday wish there. And that's what we were asking for. Nicely done. Nicely done.
253. Watch them get 7 runs tonight and still lose by 1 or 2. Now, there's a pessimist. That would be the of course. They finally pile up a bunch of runs and the pitching falters. So we'll see what goes on. I mean, you do have an injured team. You've got a team that's coming in 0-3, although, again, they did score some runs against a very good, if not the best rotation. It's in that conversation with the Mariners, talking about the Dodgers rotation. So we'll see if but also a little different weather out there. So maybe the ball doesn't carry as well for them. We'll see. Hoping for the worst for them. All right. We ready for what we learned? Did we learn things today?
Oh, were we funny enough? I can't wait to see what Matt thinks.
What you just said.
I can't wait for you to keep talking over the open.
Idiotic things I've ever
like you just did.
What did we learn today?
Yeah, but I did as a commentary. Mine was funny. Yours was just foolish.
You're still talking.
Yeah, I know.
Just Matt and Wyman bickering. So good.
This is what Lefko gets for going on another show for a day.
Oh, goodness. All right.
Yeah, he was tearing it up earlier today.
Oh, he had a lot of words.
Oh, man. He was on fire.
Yeah. There was a lot to be said.
I was driving in listening, and I looked down. All of a sudden, I'm like, I'm going 95 miles an hour.
Did you want his bump out today, too?
Yeah.
Is he solo?
No, we're kidding. Lefko did a great job.
What did we learn today, Matt?
We learned that today is a very, very special day.
You might be able to text in a happy birthday wish to Dave Wyman, who is 40 years old today. It's unbelievable. For the 21st time, you're 40.
Yes, that's right. Does
happy birthday, Dave.
I really appreciate that, Bob. Yeah, don't text in. Don't text happy birthday.
It's too late. It's too late. Say nice things.
Nobody wants to celebrate that.
Text in great, kind, warm things to Dave. Just take a day off from the mean things you normally say. Just take one day off and celebrate the man.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll take that. No mean text today.
Yeah, you can lay into him tomorrow.
Yeah, so the backhanded compliment in a clever way, that was a good call. And there were some good ones. Some people that rose to the occasion.
For whatever reason, the one that said, Dave, congratulations on not dying.
Yeah, you like that.
Kind of funny.
Pretty morbid. Yeah, then there was, I had some rambling question. I was asking Brady Henderson because it kind of turned into a different question.
Yeah.
And so they texted in something about that. And then you said, what? Or something.
I said, which
break.
question? And then they said, it's his birthday. Give him a break.
Yeah. And then they texted back, hold on, I'm still listening to the question. I was like,
Question's
okay.
still going.
That was pretty good. That was good stuff.
Yeah, solid work. Solid work from the texters. What else did we learn?
Well, we learned a little bit more about the shout out Ryan gave Dave on last week's Mariners broadcast.
Maybe you can give me a shout out on the broadcast like you did the other day with
I did. Hey,
you and Goldie.
I gave you a nice little shout out.
I didn't necessarily want that because then I knew Goldie was gonna,
Oh, he went for the throat. I was kind of shocked.
By the way, Aaron, we're talking about the origin of the Walter nickname. This is coming from Dave Wyman. Apparently, Tom Murphy was the originator of Walter.
Are you confident in your source?
50-50.
That seems high.
I think he's probably just throwing a name out there. I'm like, oh yeah, that's solid. I'll run with that. Might be incorrect.
Well, nobody knows Mariners rosters years over year like Wyman.
I don't have his number, and I don't want it, okay? But I was going to text him. That was a good one. That was a good shot right there.
I wasn't expecting that response, so I apologize, Dave. And being your birthday today, I should have given you a happy birthday right then and there. But,
you should know going forward to never tee up Goldie like that because he called me a psychopath at one point.
That's right.
Yeah, and then you followed that up with he wasn't wrong.
Yeah, he was. I think it was well earned. But that was funny. He just went for it. It's just like Ryan lobbed him a softball and he just squared it up.
I'm just sitting there innocently watching the game. Next thing you know, I'm getting ripped by Goldie.
Like that. How confident are you in your source? 50-50 seems high.
Seems high. I know. I don't have Goldie's number. But
nobody knows Mariner roster season by season better than Dave Wyman.
Yeah. I was like, that was good. That was good stuff. Nicely done, Goldie.
What else did we learn?
Well, we also learned that Ryan got a very thoughtful birthday gift for Dave.
By the way, Dave Wyman, happy birthday. What did Bob get you for your birthday? What did he get you?
Jack Squat. That's what I asked him.
Kidding.
That's what I asked him for. He gave me exactly what I wanted.
I was going to buy donuts, but Dave's trying to eat healthier, so I thought, well, this is gonna go against that, so I didn't do that, and I just gave him warm wishes and then begged our listeners to be kind to him.
I'm looking around. There's a box of chocolates down here. I'll leave them here for you. I'll write your name on there next time you're in the radio booth at the game.
Like he's going to give away a random box of chocolates.
Yeah, he just found a box of chocolates.
He doesn't know where they came from, who they belong to. They could have been sitting there since last week.
I picture that same heart-shaped box of chocolates that my wife sent me the picture of.
It's full of empty wrappers.
She's like, what the heck happened here? Well, I wanted to make it look like it's crowded in there, so I left the wrappers in. That way it wouldn't look like I ate all the chocolate.
Dave was messing with the crime scene. He was trying to make it look like no crime had taken place.
The thing is like in the beginning, I asked, can I have a couple of these? And she said yes. And I'm like, oh, that's her fault.
You meant a couple 3.
Yeah.
Which is like 6.
Yeah. So, and I did leave the wrappers in there just because it looks more full.
Yeah, the picture she sent was hilarious.
Yeah.
Said it looked like your dog got to it.
Looked like Hoover went through it. Yeah.
So good. Did we learn anything else?
We learned one more thing, and we learned this earlier this segment, but I think it really bears repeating because it's great to just know Dave really does have a great long track record of breaking things.
I just loved how fearful he was that you were going to break it.
Well, there is a track record.
Can you blame me?
Of things that just get broken.
Dude, I'm telling you, the coffee cup, that was ridiculous.
The coffee cup, the stairs, the headphones, the chair, everything, it just breaks.
Yeah.
He's just got some bad luck.
That does give me some moment of pause there. Yeah, you know what? When you started listing all those things, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
It just breaks.
Oh, that's right, yeah. The headphones. Remember I had something like a belt around my head for the headphones. the front stairs.
I think you've gone through a couple headphones, right? The ones where you use at home had to be replaced.
Yeah.
And some headphones in here have taken a turn for the worse.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of chairs.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, things just break. I don't know why.
Just Dave comes around, things start breaking.
The coffee cup thing was ridiculous, though.
You're not gonna take responsibility for that one.
No, I'm not.
That just happened. Hey, the Mariners are hosting the Tigers tonight, and the T-Mobile Park roof will be closed, it would appear, based on weather. That's the Mariners Roof Report, brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. So
That's why you went under on all your predictions.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, but I'm still picking them to come out of this series as series win, taking 2 out of 3. I think is fair.
I'm really excited to see Emerson Hancock. Yeah, especially after having talked to Rowland Smith that, he's got an edge and, he's one of those guys you kind of go, oh, yeah, he's a nice little fill-in, but, he's going to...
You think he likes to be referred to as a nice little fill-in?
Yeah, there you go.
Like you pat him on the head.
Give him a little pat on the head.
You're a nice little fill-in.
Yeah.
Look
at you.
Look
You're
at you.
cute.
Look at you, but like a big boy going out there pitching, huh? Like a big leaguer.
Yeah, he's going to tear your face off.
Yeah, well, I think he's got. He's got a track record of keeping the team in the game. So this, to me, is about the offense. We'll see what they get done tonight. All right, that's going to do it for us. I want to thank Rowland Smith and Brady Henderson for joining us on the program. If you missed any part of today's show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. Just click the podcast tab, scroll down to our picture, click on that, and you're going to find it waiting for you right there. You got the Mariners and the Tigers coming up. We're going to be with you tomorrow right here with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
The John Schneider Show.
Every Thursday until draft day on Wyman and Bob.
We are now speaking with the architect of your Seattle Seahawks.
How we doing, football fans?
With Seahawks President of Football Operations and General Manager John Schneider.
My job is to do what's best for the Seattle Seahawks organization. I have to keep wrapping my mind around that and trying to communicate effectively.
Listen live Thursdays at 4 p.m. or watch the interviews on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
What's the standard the Seahawks defense needs to be held to under Mike Macdonald?
The John Schneider Show.
Brought to you by Pizza Hut.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s, and less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635, and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Are you a small business owner who needs immediate cash flow? At Swish Funding, we have flexible funding options from $25,000 to $2 million. For the best rates and terms for your business, just one application to Swish Funding gives you access to our entire network of funders, with cash in your account in as little as 24 hours. To qualify, you must be in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000. Apply at swishradio.com and use code GROW. Swishradio.com, code GROW.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain. And and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
The Front Row Card Show is coming to town, and Seattle Sports is giving away 2 VIP tickets. With 275 tables of cards, comics, and collectibles, this is the ultimate event for collectors at the Tacoma Convention Center, April 12th and 13th. Enter now at seattlesports.com/win.
You're either hiring a liability or you're hiring an asset. It's Bob Stelton here, and I love that slogan. If you're looking to replace your aging roof, check out Asset Roofing at AssetRoofingCo.com.
Asset Roofing, excellence is on the house. We are Seattle Sports, the home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
Watch your favorite show live at seattlesports.com.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home and make price-boosting upgrades with no cost until close. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle